Welcome to another Deadline stream ahead of Game Week 37, the penultimate game week of the season and the last double game week. So this could be the last time where we have huge swings and huge variance. I don't think it'll be as bad as Game Week 36, but I've activated my free hit, as I said in my team selection, and there hasn't been too many changes. I think the main one is not having Anderson in there at all, and I've gone for Sessegnon as a backup. I think everything else is pretty much the same. I'll be honest, the captaincy is something I haven't fully settled on. I'm not a huge fan of Richarlison, but he does have 2 home games. However, if Everton win their first game there against Brentford, then they will be safe, and there could be rotation in the second game. That's what some Everton fans speculate, but that's a huge if, because Brentford is a bit of a tough fixture right now. Obviously, since the last video as well, I think Robertson has also made way. That's kind of the key difference there. And the FA Cup final happened, and that has kind of cemented some of my final decisions here. And I've definitely committed to not having Salah. I have considered the likes of Diaz and Mane, and they could still find a way into my team. The same goes for Jota. But I think I will go for De Bruyne as things stand. Then, if we get any news, any confirmation by Sam Martin or any of these Leicester FC that have, in the know information, and if they say that Vardy and Maddison are starting, I think they will stay in here. And Timothy Castagne is someone else I am possibly considering, but most of this is quite locked in. Just the captaincy that, let's say for example Vardy is confirmed to start against Watford, I might actually shift the captaincy towards Jamie Vardy, and that should be quite interesting. And I think having a few different picks in there would be nice, but of course a lot of people are going to go for something very similar to this as well now, especially with Salah now out, potentially. I'm going to show you a tweet that shows the kind of comments by Jurgen Klopp in his press conference following the FA Cup victory over Chelsea. So I'm going to try and go through all these questions very quickly. You've already seen my team. It's a free hit, and it's very similar to what you saw in the team selection. So welcome Kajun. Same, held on to Salah for way too long. Who are you getting in for him? In my personal case, I didn't have him anyway. I was considering getting him in again for De Bruyne, but following the injury, I'm just going to commit to having Kevin De Bruyne, despite the fact that the fixture is quite tough for City, although you'd still expect them to win. A bit says Mane for Salah, Zaha for Saka. I have Laporte in my team and Amati on the bench. Do you think I should make an added transfer? I own KDB and Son already. The thing is, it's very difficult with Laporte because Pep was being very coy. He didn't really want to give too much away in his press conference, and he said that it's all subject to a late fitness test pretty much today. So we're not going to know too much. I think Laporte will be fine. The transfers you made are very good anyway, and Amati should start one of the games. I think he'll start against Watford. I'm not so sure if he starts both. If he doesn't start against Watford but does against Chelsea, that is the least ideal scenario for you, but you do have cover just in case Laporte misses out a bit. Aiden Puss's team, no chips, 1 free transfer. Which transfer should I make? Okay, so looking at your forward line, Nketiah's not bad. Pukki has just not been delivering, and Dennis is injured. So then, of course, you've got Laporte and Salah, who you're also flagging. I think I would get rid of Salah. I do Salah to potentially... You don't have Heung-min Son. Yeah, do Salah to Son easily there, Aiden. And if you want to maybe take an additional transfer, additional hit, you could maybe do as well Dennis. For example, Salah to Son and then Dennis to Richarlison. That is something you could consider. So yeah, I think I'd do something like that. Yes, Abhinav, Van Dijk is injured. Let me show you this now actually. So thank you for reminding me. So let me put this up on screen. So Van Dijk is injured and so is Salah. Now Klopp actually said specifically that Salah's injury is worse than Van Dijk's. But as you can see from this comment in his press conference, I think they are okay, but don't think they'll be ready for this Tuesday. I mean, it's such a quick turnaround. And why risk these players who could have potential, their injuries could be aggravated if they play, again on Tuesday. And they can afford to rest both of them. Matip and Konate are more than good enough cover for Van Dijk. They maybe didn't have the same kind of cover last season, although Phillips did a good job. And also, when you're looking at Salah, they've now got the likes of Diaz, Jota, Firmino, Mane. They've got so many options up front, so they can afford to maybe rest him and not aggravate this injury. So I don't think either of them will start against Southampton. And actually, if it wasn't for these injuries, I think it was going to be Mane that could have been dropped potentially. But you never know. It could be a front three of Diaz, Jota and Firmino. You just never know with these things. But basically, Van Dijk is injured and Salah is as well. His injury is slightly more concerning though. But Salah himself said he should be fine for the Champions League final. So for those of you playing UCL Fantasy, maybe not too much to worry about. The same goes for Fabinho, who obviously missed the FA Cup final as well. But yeah, Liverpool suddenly getting a few injuries there. But none of them really too serious. They should be fine, and I think they'll kick on. So that's kind of the updates there, the main updates. But Yeah, I only kind of tuned into the FA Cup final quite late, and I managed to see the penalty shootout and obviously extra time. And of course, I saw these comments live as well. Maybe not this specific comment, but I did see what Klopp said specifically. So I've seen that with my 2 eyes. So yeah, now we're going to go back to my team here. If you've got any comments about my team, let me know. Maybe something you disagree with. I've got Maddison and Vardy, which is very risky. I've said this before, but I might take the risk. Morning to J Donny Don, James France, and he said Franco. Stefan, Anas as well. I'm good. What about you? Vinu says Watkins or Ings. The thing is, Watkins has been pictured in training. Some people are saying he wasn't. He is pictured in training. I've seen the images, but it does seem like he could be doing some individual training. Now, Gerrard says specifically that Watkins could play a part against Crystal Palace. If I'm not, yeah, Crystal Palace. Sorry, yeah. So I'm not too sure. I think he's going to come off the bench. That is a possibility. Now, I saw a few kind of leaks, so-called leaks, saying that he's going to start. I don't really trust these sources, so I can't really, verify that and say, you know what, I trust this information, and I would say that's going to be the case. Watkins, I think, will be in the squad. I just personally think he's going to come off the bench, and I prefer Danny Ings. Yes, Salah out, Zaid, yes. I'd get rid of Salah. What about Trent? I think I'd be quite happy to keep him. Yeah, I think he'll be fine. He obviously got a rest quite recently. He did play, obviously, the 420 minutes, scored his penalty in the shootout, but I think Trent should be good to go as well. Liverpool can afford to rest. Look, this is the thing as well that we have to take into account. If City beat West Ham, that game is going to take place before the Liverpool game, then that's going to be huge, and pretty much Liverpool have almost lost the title there, and they might go a bit more gung-ho with their rotation policy. Maybe Joe Gomez comes in for Trent. So that's something else that will play a factor. But if City drop points to West Ham, I think Liverpool will go very, very strong. Hayden, should I do Kane plus Maddison or Vardy plus Jota? I think Kane and Maddison is a better duo. Although I like both, I think I'd do that. Hi Dylan, Captain Son, Richarlison or Zaha? I think Son is typically the best captaincy option, but because the others have doubles, I think maybe I'd lean more towards Richarlison just because of that. Otherwise, it's easily Son for me. Jota on a free instead of Maddison, I think that's definitely worth debating. I don't think I'd go there though. I think if we get any confirmation of Maddison starting against Watford, I would definitely go for him instead. So yeah, welcome to everyone. The chat is very busy, so try to be patient. I'm going to try and go for every single question. If I haven't gone over your question or been able to respond, then just put your question forward again, but don't spam the chat. That's all I ask. Thank you very much. Salah to Zaha and Dennis to Ings, bench Robertson, Laporte. Yes, I think that's very good actually, Singh. That's a good set of transfers. I don't really have any objections. Or you could do Dennis to Richarlison unless you have him already. So yeah, I think I'd do something like that. Yeah, Aiden, in that case, if you already have Son, I didn't see Son, then I would go for Kevin De Bruyne. So I think that's what I would do. Who do I captain, Son or Richarlison? I think I'd go for Richarlison just for the double, but Son can go crazy against anyone. We saw that in Game Week 36 and pretty much every single game week. He's been so consistent recently. He's the most informed player in the Premier League. Hey Dylan, is Kulusevski injured? That's another great point I actually forgot to mention today. So Kulusevski is apparently ill, so he could miss out today, and it could be Lucas Moura taking his place against Burnley in the early kickoff. Unfortunately, there's no verifiable, concrete information. It's all kind of rumours going about, but that's what a lot of people tend to believe. So let's wait and see, but it's definitely a possibility. And in that case, it's a big blow for Spurs, but also for Kulusevski owners as well. Zaha or Vardy triple captain? I think I prefer Vardy, especially if there's confirmation of him starting. So I'd go for that. KDB on a free hit? Yes, I think so. Arguably one of the most informed players in the world, and he's been fantastic. Not just the 4 goals against against Wolves. I wish he scored 4 goals against West Ham. But I just think he's been so good. And he's not really been talked about too much, but even in Game Week 35, 34, 33, he's kind of in all my kind of wildcard team videos. I kept talking about him. I should have heeded my own advice, but it's very difficult to get rid of Salah for De Bruyne, despite obviously the huge difference in form. Mount to Luis Diaz or Mahrez? I'd go for Diaz. I'm not convinced about Mahrez's minutes. Even if he starts against West Ham, will he start in the final game against Aston Villa? I'm not too sure. Yeah. Okay, so starting Nketiah or Saka? I'd rather start Saka out of the two, but yeah, you could maybe make the case that Saka hasn't really been as efficient from open play with Nketiah in the team, but I think I'd still go for Saka. Janssen, Anderson, or Mikalenko? Mikalenko, easily. I wouldn't go for Janssen over Anderson and Mikalenko when they both have doubles. Vardy or Kane? I'd probably go for Vardy once again, especially if you get confirmation of him starting. So yeah. Thoughts on Barnes as an option? He's decent, of course. I just prefer Maddison myself, but I think Barnes is a good option, and he's the third kind of Leicester player or attacker I would consider. So those three, so Vardy, Maddison, Barnes, and Castagna, as well as Schmeichel, are the 5 best Leicester assets in my opinion. Sterling a good differential? Yes, he's got a fantastic record against West Ham. I think he is a good differential. He's far too inconsistent though for my liking. He can obviously produce a really big haul like he did against Newcastle. Obviously scored against Wolves as well, but he can also go missing sometimes and miss some clear-cut chances. De Bruyne is still my preference. Thoughts on Holgate over Mikalenko? I personally prefer Mikalenko. He's got a bit more attacking threat. He's playing as the wing-back. Holgate, yes, he's also decent for bonus points, but if you can afford it, I'd go for Mikalenko. I don't think there's a huge difference between the two. Captain Cash or Son? I actually really like that Cash captaincy, to be fair. I think I would go for Cash. It sounds crazy, and I've been a big advocate of Son even when he was in bad form, but I think I'd go for Cash. Kane or Vardy? Once again, I go for Vardy. Morning, Dylan. Salah to Son, but then can't decide either Saka or Mount to Zaha. Paul, I'd actually probably do Saka. The reason why I say that is because Saka faces Everton at home, and if Everton are still in a position where they're still fighting to stay up, they're going to be very tough to break down, and Arsenal could struggle. But Mason Mount faces Watford, so I think I would rather keep Mount and sell Saka. Do you like Captain Mikalenko? Mate, to be honest, I like a lot of these differential captaincies, on Cash and Mikalenko especially. I think apart from Richarlison, I'd rather Captain Mikalenko than potentially Gordon, for example, or the other Everton assets, outfield assets anyway. So yes, I think that's a good captaincy option. I'm not going to come out here and say it's the best captaincy in my opinion, otherwise I'd do it myself, but I think it is a very good differential captaincy. If you're looking to chase rank, I really like that. I think Everton have 1 clean sheet in them, at least, and their recent home record has been fantastic, and Mikalenko could still get an attacking return and some bonus points, and that could be a huge haul for you. Why not Richarlison, Kane, Vardy? To be fair, I actually like that idea. I've seen a few people talk about this on Twitter and also on YouTube. It's something to consider. Maybe I can downgrade De Bruyne, for example. I actually like that idea quite a lot, and I am considering it as well, so that is a good idea. It's just at the moment, I think I'm going for this sort of structure. I've already got Heung-min Son to kind of cover the Spurs attack as well. And also, look, I think Spurs are going to win against Burnley, but you never know. And they did lose to them last time out. And Burnley, if they set up right, they can definitely frustrate Spurs and they can cause a lot of problems. News about Laporte? No news really. I've mentioned this before pretty briefly, so we're not really expecting too much with Laporte. It's just going to be a late fitness test. What do I think? I think he's going to be fine, but it all depends on the late fitness test. Mikalenko or Robertson? I'd go for Mikalenko for sure. Robertson came off, I think with cramp, so it's not like a serious injury, but it could be Tsimikas playing again, and obviously he played the last Premier League game, he scored the winning goal in the FA Cup final, so I wouldn't be surprised if Tsimikas starts again. Do you know if James and or Alonso will play? I don't know, to be fair, but I think they will because they're playing on Thursday. And also, if Spurs and Arsenal win, Chelsea still need a result to secure that top 4 spot. And obviously, I think they're going to do it anyway, but I think they will play. They've got more rest than Liverpool, for example. James, Cancelo or Arnold out for cash? That's a good question, actually. So, despite the fact that Cancelo has tougher fixtures out of the 3 players, I think I would rather get rid of Reece James. The thing is, though, in 38, he has the best fixture of the 3. Jota or Maddison on a free hit? I'd go for Maddison. Son going for the Premier League Golden Boot. To be honest, I think he's going to win it, especially if Salah misses out against Southampton. And I think Son will score at least 2 goals in the next 2 games. So yeah, I think Son will probably win the Golden Boot now. And I think, yes, I'd definitely have him on the free hit and everything. I've said this all along, yeah. De Bruyne or Zaha? I think I'd go for Zaha for the double lager. No problem, Danny G. Thank you for your question. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. If I've already answered your question, then just, be sure to smash the like button and also share this video around with anyone who loves FPL and UCL fantasy. So thank you very much to everyone. Let's go through more questions. Vardy or Kane? I'd go for Vardy myself, but it's more risky, so take that into account. Greetings from Sri Lanka. Thank you very much. Thank you and greetings to you. And hopefully you're enjoying. I think the time zone is very different. I'm not sure exactly what time it is there, but yeah, hopefully not too late. I don't think it is too bad, actually. Maddison or Zaha? I actually prefer Maddison out of the two, just for that Watford fixture. So once again, if we get any confirmation in the next hour or two, I would go for Maddison. Gameweek 37 captain, Pickford, Son or KDB? Out of those three, I think I'd still go for Son. But Pickford's a nice one, just like Mikalenko. Cash, Diaz and Vardy for a -8. I'm not sure who you're getting rid of, Theo, but just looking at your transfers in, I really like them. So yes, I like those transfers. Robertson or Trent for a free hit? I would have actually said Robertson, but based on what we saw in the FA Cup final, I think I would rather go for Trent on the free hit now. I've got a 90-point lead in my mini league. Should I go with Son as a safe captaincy pick over Richarlison and Ings? To be fair though, Richarlison in terms of captaincy will be quite similar to Son. If not, he'll have more captaincy. I wouldn't, think about your mini league when you're making these sort of decisions, because what you want to do is maximize your points. Ultimately, maybe you're just unsure. Who do you think is going to score the most points, or who do you back? Which teams do you back, and which players do you think are going to score goals? If you think it's going to be Son, then go for him, but don't just do it because you want to be conservative and protect the lead. I get your logic, by the way, and obviously for people in a high rank, it is quite a common strategy towards the end of the season, but I don't think you need to necessarily do that. You could just go for Richarlison. He's still quite a template captain. Thank you for the super chat, IRH. Thank you very much. I've taken a 24-point hit and used bench boost all in. Good luck, mate. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of taking huge hits for the bench boost, but they can work out. But it's just the more hits you take, the less likely it is to pay off. But I hope it goes out well for you. And why not have some fun? It's only 2 weeks left. And, if you're in a rank where you're not too happy with, why not just go for it and just try out some new players? So I wish you all the best. Hopefully you enjoy the game and hopefully you have a very good week. So I wish you all the best, mate. Thank you for the super chat. I wonder which players you have on your bench boost. Let me know. Yeah, Maddison or Zaha, we've got this question quite a lot today. I would go for Maddison personally if we get confirmation he starts against Watford. I think Zaha, though, is more of a kind of locked-in player for most of our free hit teams. So if you already have Vardy, maybe in that case, going for Zaha is better. So, look, for me, I'm just going for Maddison just because of that Watford fixture. And also, I really like him as an FPL option should he get the minutes. But he's much more risky. So take that with a pinch of salt. If you want to go safe, Zaha is definitely the way to go. So, yeah, it's very tough between the two. Bringing KDB or Zaha for Salah for the last 2 weeks, I think I'd go for Zaha. Because Zaha faces United in 38. Yes, KDB plays Villa in 38. But I also like the double, to a certain extent, for Zaha in 37. Are you sleeping on Liverpool? Look, the thing is you can't really cover everyone. And like I said already, I have been considering Diaz or maybe Jota or Mane in for De Bruyne. But I'm just not really seeing it. And also with Robertson and Trent, I would have doubts about either of them starting, especially with Robertson after being taken off. And I prefer having the double game week defenders there. And I think Liverpool will beat Southampton by quite a comfortable margin. I don't know if it'll be 6. It could be. If Liverpool go full out, then it could be 7 or 8, honestly. But I'm just not too sure, honestly. It's very hard to fit all of these players in, and I'm trying to be a bit more ambitious and go for the double game week players and back specific teams. Captain Richarlison or Ings? I think it's a very close one, and I like Ings as a differential captain. If you're looking to chase rank, I'd definitely go for Ings. But if you're looking to protect, as some people have been talking about before, Richarlison would be the safer pick per se. I think I'm going for Richarlison out of those two just about, but there's not much to separate them, I think, no. Best captain except Richarlison? Good question. I think Vardy. And, if you want to risk it, I would definitely go for Vardy. I think he's one of the best captaincy options this week. Kane, KDB or Diaz as captain? Out of those three, I think I'd go for Kane. Kane or Vardy? I'd go for Vardy, personally. Zaha or Diaz for a risk? For a risk, it would be Diaz. He's more of a differential, I think, this week. But I would go for Diaz myself. I've got a 31 point in my mini league. I've taken a 16-point hit this week. Oof, I mean, look, these hits are massive. But there you go. Look, you can still win it, obviously. And these transfers could do, a very big thing for you in winning the league overall. But obviously, you've basically halved the deficit now. I wish you all the best in your mini leagues and also your targets for your ranks. But why Zaha? But your defence is Villa and Everton. That's a good question. Thinking of going Zaha to Jota. Thank you for the super chat, Solomon. So I've seen this posed quite a lot, and I haven't really covered this. So thank you for bringing it up. So it is quite a good, point you're making there. Why would I go for double Everton and double Villa defence when Zaha faces both? Well, the kind of hope here is that one of those teams, Everton and Villa, keep one clean sheet. And what could happen is Everton keep it against Brentford and Villa keep it against Burnley. So, look, you're not going to get points in every single game, and there's quite a lot of clashes this week because there's only 5 teams doubling, so it's quite inevitable that you're going to lose points in certain matches. But I still think it's good to cover all bases, and I think Zaha is Palace's best option. And in terms of the attacking, when you look at the midfielders and the forwards, Zaha is one of the better options available. And also, I don't have any other Palace players in general, so I like to diversify my team a little bit. Obviously, in the defence, I haven't really diversified it, to be quite fair, but I'm going quite big on both of these teams and going for the double and just seeking one clean sheet from either team. So that's kind of the aim. Yes, they're both facing Crystal Palace and Zaha, but they could still keep the clean sheet in the other game. And even if Zaha blanks against Villa, for example, he could score against Everton, whilst Everton get the clean sheet against Brentford. So I don't think it's that kind of simple. They can still all get points. Obviously, it's going to be difficult, and let's wait and see. But I've kind of covered all bases anyway. So, for example, those people who are going really big on the Everton and Villa defences and they go without Zaha, well, what if Zaha scores against these teams as well? So, look, it's always difficult. You can't cover every single possibility. But I've done it in such a way where, I can still get points from most of these matches. But of course, some blanks are going to be inevitable. That's pretty much it. But I'm covering all bases, basically. Thank you for your question. Obviously, if you got any more objections, then let me know. But I think that's a very good question. Is Laporte available? It's not confirmed yet. So it's all down to a late fitness test. That's what Pep said as well. The same goes for Fernandinho. I think Laporte will be fine, but on a free hit, I definitely wouldn't go for the Spanish international. Matip or Tsimikas? Maddison or Jota Diaz? If West Ham win, Klopp will go all out attack to Southampton. I agree, and I've said this before. The thing is, though, I would back City to get a result there. Matip or Tsimikas? I'd go for Matip, just because I'm more convinced he will start. Maddison or Jota Diaz? I would go for Maddison. Thank you, Dominic. Mane for... Yeah, I think I answered this question already, but I'll go for this question. Do you think I should make an added transfer? Yeah, like I already said, Abir, I don't think you need to make an added transfer. You've already got good enough cover. Who is the best midfield captain this week? I think it's between Son and Zaha. I think those are the two best captaincy options this week. So if you want to go for a single game weeker, someone that you can trust on most weeks, it'd be Son. He's the most informed player in the league. Or for a double game weeker, I'd go for Zaha. Yeah, why is no one picking a Palace defender? Well, actually, Coopsy, in my best free hit team, I actually had Anderson, and also I think in my team selection, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I really like Crystal Palace defence. It's just the fixtures I'm not a big fan of, but that's a good, that's a really good shout. I think Palace are going under the radar. Most people aren't going for them, and they're kind of maybe, let's say, going really heavy on certain defences like Everton and Villa, like I'm doing right now. I definitely would consider Anderson and Mitchell for sure. Mikalenko or Anderson, if you don't have... Look, if you've got Pickford already, then you could make a debate to go for Anderson, but I still prefer Mikalenko if you're just doing a straight shootout there. Kane or Gary? I'm guessing you're talking about Vardy. Yeah, I'd go for Vardy. Do I start Diaz or Maddison? I would start Maddison. Then again, I wouldn't want to bench either of them, to be fair, especially Diaz against Southampton. Do you think Leicester lineup is actually going to get leaked? I don't... To be honest, if you're asking me, I don't think so, but there's still a possibility. But as things stand, I haven't seen anything. I'm going to check Twitter now and see if there's anything. But yeah, no, I haven't seen anything yet. So yeah, honestly, I don't think there will be any information, but you never know. Ings for captain. I think it's a good differential captaincy, and he'd be in my top 5 captaincy options this week. So it's between, I'd say, Richarlison, Vardy, Ings, and then I'd probably put those two midfielders, Son and Zaha. I think those are pretty much my top 5 captaincy options. Then, you can't underestimate the likes of Mikalenko and Cash and Pickford. They'd also make my top 10, and they could even, be in the top 5. Is Cash a good captaincy choice? Yeah, I think so. I think he is. I don't think he's the best, but I think he's decent. I don't think Vardy starts. I mean, that would be a big shame, honestly. But yeah. Who takes penalties? Is Salah and Milner not on the pitch? Well, normally it's Fabinho. But he's out right now, James. So if Salah, Milner and Fabinho aren't in there, then I need to think about this. It could be Mane. I think if Mane's on the pitch, I might be forgetting somebody. Yeah, I think it could be Mane. If there's any Liverpool fans, let me know. But basically, those are the top 3 penalty takers. So Salah, then Milner, and then Fabinho. I mean, look, then you wonder why Liverpool win most of their penalty shootouts. I mean, that's an amazing, set of penalty takers. What are your thoughts on Gordon? He's a great enabler. He's not someone I'd like to start, and that's why I haven't really gone for him in my drafts. But he's a good option. Son for captain, yeah. I think from the single game week ones, he's the best, yeah. Son and De Bruyne or Son and Kane? It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, I'm going for Son and De Bruyne right now. I think I'd go for Son and De Bruyne, just about. But honestly, it's 50-50. It's honestly a 50-50 one. You could go either one. And if you really back Spurs for the win, and you think Kane's going to be a big part of it, which he normally is, then I would go for Kane. But right now, I'm going for De Bruyne. I want to kind of diversify things a little bit more in the attack. Kane or Ings? I'd go for Danny Ings this week. Yeah, so that answers Kenneth's question as well. Hey, Dylan from Greece. Well, greetings. And it's been a long time since I've been there, but obviously it's a very nice country. Is it worth transferring out Laporte, Foden, Salah for KDB, Son, and Double Gameweek defender from -8? I honestly think it is worth a -8. Obviously, Laporte and Foden, I think they'll both be fine for this week. Obviously, Laporte's more of a concern. And in 38 against Villa, they could be pretty good assets there as well. But I think I would take the -8, yeah. Salah, what can use? Salah, we talked about earlier, so his injury is more serious than Van Dijk's, so there is a few concerns there. And also, club doesn't expect him to play on Tuesday. As for Watkins, he was in training, but he might only play a part against Crystal Palace, so maybe come off the bench, for example. Firmino's a forward punt. Yeah, true, but I honestly wouldn't go there. Now, Firmino, look, he's quite explosive and he could do very well there, but I don't think I'd go for Firmino. I'd rather go for Diaz, Mane, Jota, etc. I just don't really see Firmino as a great FPL asset. Dean or Coutinho as the third Villa player? I think Coutinho is, I don't know, it's very difficult with him. He has the capabilities of producing huge hauls, but I think I'd go for Luka Dean. It's very close though, and if you look at FPL points, since they both, since Coutinho came into the Premier League, then Coutinho would be arguably the better pick, but he's been very off it recently. And it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I think if Watkins was fully fit, I'd rather double up with Villa attack with Ings and Watkins rather than Coutinho. I need to raise my rank. Should I captain Son or Richarlison? They're both going to be similarly, in terms of effective ownership, they're going to be quite similar, I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it's going to be quite tough between the two. If you want to go differential, maybe Vardy is the one to go for. But out of those two, it's quite tough to say. I'd go for Richarlison just because he's got a double and he's got more of a chance in that case of producing a return than Son, because you never know. Burnley could frustrate Spurs once again. Yeah, Kane or Vardy? Once again, I'm personally going for Vardy. Striker, I already answered your question. Hi mate, do you think Ings will play 160 plus minutes if Watkins is fit? If Watkins is fit, yes, I still think Ings will play both, but it's just more cemented if Ings was out. If Watkins was out basically and not fit for the first game at least. But I think Ings will play 160 plus minutes even if Watkins is fit. Not the full 180 though. Thanks Dylan for last week's suggestions. Got 120 -4. Can you please answer? Yeah, I haven't seen your question. Okay, 4 questions. I'll try to whiz through these then. Is Laporte fit to play? It's not confirmed yet. It's down to a late fitness test. I think he'll be fine, but honestly we have no idea. That's just an assumption by myself. Trent or Gomez starts? I think Trent, but honestly, it also depends on City. If City lose to West Ham, then maybe Liverpool will go stronger and go for Trent. If City win, and it looks like they're going to win the title, which they probably will, then maybe it's going to be Gomez. Honestly, it just depends on these kind of other factors as well. And also Trent's recovery. That's a big part of it. What do I think? I think Trent starts. Who to transfer out, Laporte or Trent for cash? I'd rather get rid of Laporte. Who to choose among Kane, Ings and Richarlison? Already have Son and KDB. Out of those 3, I think I would go for Richarlison. Yeah, but obviously, if you look at 38 as well, Kane has a fantastic fixture there. So it's quite a tough one, but I go for Richarlison or Kane, and I think I'd go for Richarlison. And look, if it was on a free hit, I think Kane would be at the bottom of that tier, of that list there. But the only reason I said that is because you have to think about 38 as well. Is Kulusevski ill rumours from strong sources? From what I've seen, not any really strong sources, and that's why I haven't, said, oh, he's definitely out or whatever. But I've seen it about quite a bit, but not from a source I necessarily trust. Obviously, if someone has seen it from such a source, then let me know, but I haven't really seen it there. Diaz or Maddison? I'd go for Maddison personally. Thank you, by the way, Karaki, for moderating the chat. Thank you very much. Vehicles scores today. I just feel it, mate. Honestly, okay, I'm not getting any tattoos or anything, but Vehicles is a legend there. I might even put it as my DP. Whoever scores for Burnley and Burnley get a result, I'll probably put them as my DP on multiple social media platforms. But I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Would you do a Maddison and Vardy double up? I mean, if you look on screen, mate, I've got it. So at the moment, I am doing it, yes. And not many people are doing it. So I think that's kind of a way of differentiating myself from the rest of the crowd. Saka to Zaha for a hit. I think it's worth it, Jack. Also Zaha, in my opinion, maybe not a better fixture, But I would back Zaha more for returns in 38 than Saka. Any reason why I went for Sessegnon over Anderson? Honestly, it makes no difference, mate, because I don't really think any of these players are really going to miss out both games. And also those with single game weeks as well. I'll be honest, if you want to know the real reason why I've gone for Sessegnon is to hopefully jinx him and jinx Spurs. That's really it. I mean, I'm giving you my honest opinion there. Hi mate, hope you're good. Thoughts on Ramsdale to Pickford for a -4? I don't think so, because if you think about 38 as well, I think Ramsdale has a better fixture there. Obviously, they're facing each other, but you would back Arsenal more for the clean sheet. Look, Pickford has the double here. I just don't know. A -4 for a goalkeeper with 2 game weeks left isn't really my cup of tea. But it can still pay off, of course. I'm not going to deny that. It's just I'm not too sure. If you're just looking to go different and be aggressive, go for it. But I just don't think it's necessarily worth it. Maddison or Barnes, who to start? I prefer Maddison, but it's really tough between the two, honestly. Now that Salah's injured, who would you suggest will start in the midfield, Diaz or Jota? I think both will start. Because, I mean, who's the other one who's going to start? Maybe Mane, but if he's still kind of if he's not fully recovered or he's struggling for recovery, then he could also be benched for Firmino, for example. So I think both of them will start, Diaz and Jota. I don't think City wins today somehow. I think they will, but it's going to be tough. Obviously, City's fixtures are tougher than Liverpool's, but I think City win. They're just a machine, and in the league anyway, they're very consistent. Cash or Zaha or Richarlison for captain? I think I'd go for Richarlison. How much in the bank? I've got like 4.2 million or something, so let me just double check this. 4.6. So let me know, what would you do with this team with 4.6 million in the bank? I don't really see a huge need to go for like Robertson on my bench and stuff like that. But obviously, the more the merrier, you could say. But yeah, that's just kind of the team I've got at the moment. I think Anderson's quite, going under the radar. I've talked about him before earlier in the week. Castagna as well. Someone just asked, Rory, most nailed Leicester defender. Most nailed? Quite a tough one to answer, but I think Castagna is one of the more nailed ones in recent weeks in the Premier League, and I think he starts both. And a few Leicester fans I've seen also think the same thing. If Watkins is fit, will Ings be benched against Burnley? I don't think so. I think Ings starts both. Especially, look, what if Ings scores in the first game? Would he then be benched against Burnley? I just don't really think it makes sense. But yes, I think Ings won't be benched, basically. In a wildcard for the last 2 game weeks, who would you choose? Kane and Dyer or Vardy and Cancelo? Well, Kane and Dyer, they're both facing Burnley and Norwich. But Vardy and Cancelo, I think I'd go for Vardy and Cancelo. It's just, I would still have one Spurs attacker. Try to get Son in there. Mount to start after Leicester in the FA Cup. Start against Leicester, yes. I think so. And if he doesn't, he definitely starts against Watford. He'll bounce back. Everyone misses penalties. Mikalenko or Holgate? I'd go for Mikalenko. Did you choose Vardy because of squad value limit? No. I've got 4 million in the bank, basically. Almost 5 million. I can go for Kane. It's just I prefer Vardy, really. If Vardy starts against Watford, I think he's just a better option because he could just get 2 appearance points against Chelsea, and with a haul against Watford, that's already a decent haul there. And I think that will be the case. But let's wait and see. It's very difficult with the likes of Vardy. He's just come back from an injury. He could be rested, and it's very risky. Yeah, Saka and Nketiah, I go for Saka, like I said before. Would you consider starting Foster at home versus Leicester over Ramsdale? Honestly, I would consider it. I just don't think Foster will keep a clean sheet. I know he just did against Everton, but look, Ramsdale, I don't back for a clean sheet against Newcastle and probably against Everton as well. So yeah. I think that's a troll there. Transfer Vardy for Kane. Maybe. It's something I've considered, but I don't know. At the moment, I think I'm going for Vardy. Do you think Robertson starts? After what happened in the FA Cup, I think Tsimikas starts, but that's kind of just a brief assumption. I could be wrong. It all depends on the recovery for these players. Is Zaha captain a good option this week? Yes, but the fixtures aren't the greatest. They're decent fixtures, but because they're both away from home and Palace tend to struggle there, I think there's better options. What I will say, though, is Zaha has 6 goals in his last 7 away games, so it's maybe not the worst. Yeah, no Liverpool and City defenders. I think Liverpool defence is where I'm a bit more apprehensive about it because they've got a better fixture, and I think the likes of Robertson and Trent can get returns there. As for City, though, I can see West Ham scoring, especially with all the injuries at the back. Ben White will get 7 points. Oh, I hope so. You're being very optimistic with Arsenal and very pessimistic with Tottenham, which I like. But I think Newcastle... Well, I don't know. I mean, Arsenal have a fantastic record against Newcastle and Everton, and they should beat these teams. But I don't know. I mean, if Ben White gets 7 points, I'd be very happy with that, even if it affects my rank a bit. Asim says, Salah, Dennis Pukki, -4. Ings, Richarlison, Zaha, Madison. Salah, Havertz, Dennis, -4. Okay, I think I would go to... I'd go for the option 2. So KDB, Richarlison and Madison. I think it's better with Gameweek 38 in mind as well, Asim. Mings to Cash for a -4, worth it? I mean, Cash has more attacking threat, but I'm not sure I'd take a -4 for that. Thoughts on Tuchel's Loftus-Cheek striker experiment? Honestly, I just have no idea with Chelsea. I mean, it's quite baffling as well. I mean, Havertz, I don't watch the full game, but like the likes of Havertz, I just don't get the whole situation at Chelsea as well. And they didn't play badly in the final. I think they've been unlucky in FA Cup finals recently, but I don't know. I mean, their record at Wembley is awful. I know they beat Palace, but in terms of finals in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup and all this, it's been awful. Even in the Community Shield over the years, it's quite... Yeah, I'm not really going to comment on Loftus-Cheek striker experiment. I didn't see enough of the game. Obviously, I know he came on and he came off, which was very strange, but I don't know what he was thinking there, to be fair. Salah played 90 minutes against Tottenham and Nketiah's better last 2 games. I'm guessing you're saying Saka. Yeah, but I mean, you asked me a question, I gave you my answer. I'm not really going to change my mind about that. I've said this before. I don't think Saka's been as good when Nketiah's been in the team, at least from open play goals and, open play assists and stuff. But Saka still is on set pieces, he's on penalties, and he gets more points for scoring a goal and for a clean sheet if Arsenal ever get one again. So I prefer Saka. Now 4:30 AM here. Wow, thank you, Azaro. Morning to you. Have Son and Kane to Weghorst, Richarlison worth a -4? Yes. Yes, I think it is worth it. I'd do that. Matip is a good cheap option, nailed with Van Dijk out, definitely. And, I recommended him ahead of 36. And even before that, obviously around 32, 33, I was kind of talking about skipping him. I was wrong. I hold my hands up there. He's a fantastic option. Yeah. Mings or Dean, Coutinho or Ings? Dean, I'd go for Luca Dean. And I would go for Ings. Obviously, Coutinho could still be, he'd come back to bite you. Laporte starts? Yes, I think so, but it all depends on the late fitness test. If he doesn't pass it, he's not going to play, and I don't know the results of that. I'm just giving my opinion there. Opinions on Rodrigo? Are you talking about the City Rodri, or I'm guessing you're talking about the Leeds Rodrigo? I wouldn't consider either in any case, really. Hi Dylan, hope all is well. I'm recovering from COVID. Hopefully you recover there, Arthur. You should be good, but yeah, all the best to you, mate. Hopefully you're feeling better soon. Is Marnie on pens now? Fabinho's probably going to be out as well against Southampton. If Milner isn't on the pitch, then yes, I think Marnie is on pens, but I'm not too sure about that. It could be, who knows? I mean, they've got so many good penalty takers. Even Jota. I mean, I think that was arguably the best penalty yesterday, the one Jota took. Force on a -12 of Gay, Alonso, Salah, and Ramsey to Cash, Mikalenko, Son, and Zaha. That's a good question. A -12 is excessive. I think I would go for it though. Yeah. Son or KDB? I'd go for Son. I think he's got a better fixture in 37 and in 38. I'd go for Son. Laporte to Zinchenko, Salah to Diaz or Jota, and Gelhardt to Vardy, and maybe Saka to Zaha. I don't think you need to make all of these transfers, for example. Like Laporte to Zinchenko, obviously, if Laporte doesn't, if he doesn't play, but you still got Amati on the bench, and I think he'll get a game. Salah to Diaz or Jota, I prefer Diaz right now. So yeah, apart from the rest, I'm not really Saka to Zaha I do like, but then just do Salah to Diaz, for example. I don't think you need to do Laporte. Castagna versus Mikalenko, I think Mikalenko. He's got more of a chance of a clean sheet. However, Castagna against Watford, I really like that. It's just that second game against Chelsea. Despite how poor the Blues have been this year, really, I still would back them to score a goal at least. Luis Diaz or De Bruyne for Salah for a hit? I'd still go for De Bruyne with 38 in mind. Who would you captain in your team? I mean, right now I've gone for Richarlison, but if we get any confirmation... Oh yeah, let me just go back to my team, by the way. I was still in the transfer section. Yeah, if we get any confirmation of Vardy starting, I might even put the captaincy on him. I know it's very risky, but it is what it is. Zaha or Maddison? I mean, look, it's 50-50. I said Maddison earlier, just, with my assumption that he starts against Watford. I think that game is enough for him to get a double-digit return. But Zaha's safer. I'll be honest with you. Zaha's safer. I think, look, let's say, for example, if there was one player I had to have on my free hit from those two, it would be Zaha. But I would be a bit more aggressive and I'd chase Maddison and his really big returns, which he can do on a consistent basis. So I would go for Maddison personally. Zaha's safer. Okay, fair enough. I'll put a poll out there. Why not? So this is quite a popular question as well. So bear with me for a second. Let's see. I'll see the results of this poll. I think most people will go for Zaha. I think so. Maddison isn't really that much of a popular option this week. Do you think that Vardy gets rested one of the double games? Potentially, yes. I think he will feature in both. What I'm hoping for is that he starts against Watford and maybe he comes off the bench against Chelsea. Obviously, I want him to start both. And as you can see there, Zaha's already winning quite comfortably in the poll. Thoughts on Jota? I don't think he's my favourite Liverpool asset right now. I think Mane and Diaz would be the kind of top of my list of Salah replacements, but Jota's still good. Emerson Real or Reece James? For this week, I think I would go for Emerson Real. Okay, let me just... let me just deal with that spammer. Thank you. Any news on Watkins? He's been in training, so there are images of him training. Gerrard said the other day in his press conference that he can feature against Crystal Palace, but when he says that, it kind of implies that he can come off the bench, and that's what I'm thinking will happen. Obviously, that last part of the sentence is my assumption there. Is Dean injured? No, he's not. Unless you've seen something I haven't. Why Zaha over Gallagher? Zaha has been far more consistent. Gallagher's got 1 goal and 1 assist in his last 10 appearances. Maybe stretching to 11 or last 12 appearances, actually. Zaha has 6 goals in his last 7 away games. He's actually been Crystal Palace's informed player. And he's been very consistent this year. So I think Zaha has he ticks all the boxes. He's on penalties. I would go for Zaha. I don't think it's a debate there. Zaha in for Kulusevski or Saka. The thing is, Kulusevski could be ill. It's just we don't have a solid source that says that. Quite tough. I think I'd rather keep Kulusevski and sell Saka right now. Obviously, heading into 36, I would have preferred Saka. Both of them blanked in both games, so that hasn't really influenced my thinking. But Kulusevski's remaining fixtures are better. It depends. If you think he's going to, miss out through illness, then just get rid of Kulusevski. But I honestly just don't know. Assuming they're both fit, I would get rid of Saka. Free hit on Vardy or Mane. I'd go for Vardy. Get Maddison or Zaha. I have to play them. I mean, as you can see, most people will say Zaha. With the assumption that Maddison plays against Watford, I would personally go for Maddison. Liverpool, Madrid in the UCL final. We'll talk more about this in the UCL fantasy streams, but I think Liverpool are a much better team than Madrid, I'll be honest. And I think I would back Liverpool in that regard. But then again, I backed City against Madrid, and they were winning quite comfortably, and then all of a sudden Madrid get 2 late goals. Never rule out Madrid, and they just have some, I don't know what to call it in the Champions League, but I would go for Liverpool if I'm looking at who's the better team, which doesn't really matter too much sometimes. Cash for Trent, Matip or Alonso. That's a tough one because Alonso has a great fixture in 38, but Chelsea are also much worse than Liverpool defensively. I'd actually get rid of Alonso. Coutinho Hall this week? Potentially, yeah, potentially. Would you sell Mount to Maddison? That's a tough one. I think with 38 in mind, no, I wouldn't. Diaz, Mane or KDB? KDB. Yes, have to take a hit. Fair enough. I'd go for KDB because in 38 as well, facing Villa, I think he'll start and I think he'll do very well. Kane and Gordon or Ings and Maddison? Ings and Maddison. KDB or Son next to? Son. Should I start Mateta, Thiago Silva or Mount? I have Alonso already. I would start Mount. Yeah. Although Mateta has a double, it's just I don't know if he starts both. So that's a tough one. It has to be either Mateta or Mount, I think, yeah. De Bruyne or Kane for Salah? The thing is, look, if this is a normal transfer, I would go for Kane because he's got better fixtures than De Bruyne. However, on a free hit, I would arguably go for De Bruyne. Although, once again, you could say the fixture's better for Spurs. I think I'd go for Kane. Who to start among Saka, Amati and Ramsey? It's between Saka and Amati, I think. I don't think I'd go for Ramsey. I would probably go for Amati. Assuming he starts against Watford, a clean sheet there, maybe 1 or 2 points against Chelsea. No, Ashraf, I haven't seen your question. Or if not, I have already answered it, but maybe you didn't see the response, mate. Captain Vardy, Richarlison. If I know Vardy starts, I think I'd go for him. I just don't know that information, and therefore I might go safe and go for Richarlison. So Richarlison right now, if we get confirmation of Vardy starting, I think I'd go for him. I already have Kane and Son who to captain. I'd go for Son. I think he's more hungry for the golden boot, of course. Kane has no chance of winning it. And also Son has been in far better form. Especially in home matches, he tends to outscore Kane. I would go for Son. And also what you just said there. Hopefully, if they do get a penalty, Son gets it, he misses it. Even if I lose points, I honestly don't care. But let's wait and see. That's wishful thinking. Would you consider Jota or Diaz or Firmino on a free hit? Firmino, no. Jota and Diaz, yes. Especially Diaz. But I don't think I'm going to go for them in the end. Obviously, I might still change my mind. But right now, no. Top 3 defenders this week. Cash, Mikalenko, and Anderson. Just to kind of differentiate a little bit. Obviously, I would rather double up on Villa and maybe Everton, potentially. But I'd probably put it like that in that order. If you still would include another Villa player, I'd maybe go for Dean in 3rd position, potentially. Zaha, Maddison, once again, as you can see the poll, Zaha's winning quite comfortably, but I think if Maddison starts against Watford, I'd rather have Maddison, personally. My issue, I've said this all along, my issue with Leicester assets is the minutes, the rotation. Obviously, there's no Conference League now, but then also Maddison and Vardy are coming back from injuries. They might be managed. That's my main concern. Otherwise, I think they're better assets. Will West Ham man-mark De Bruyne after that crazy haul? Yeah, but if they man-mark him, then it opens up the spaces for others. I don't think it's that simple. And De Bruyne, when he's in that kind of form, he's clinical. The goals he's scored, they're low XG shots. They're half chances, and he's still scoring them, putting it in the bottom corner, in the top corner, wherever you like. So when someone's in that kind of form, especially a player like De Bruyne, it's very hard to stop them. Now, West Ham can do it. I think they will frustrate City, and it could be a tight game. And recent games between the two have actually been quite tight. But I still think De Bruyne has a good chance of a haul. Maddison or Coutinho? I would go for Maddison, just about. Now, if you look at the fixtures, Coutinho is definitely better. But then you look at form, Maddison is slightly better as well. He was man of the match against Norwich. Obviously, just 1 goal, but still, I think he's a good option there. Who to start? Dewsbury Hall, Bernardo Silva or Tavares? I definitely want to start Tavares, I think. Yeah, Dewsbury Hall or Bernardo Silva. I'm not sure which one, Lager, actually. Maybe Dewsbury Hall for the double. Jota or Maddison? Once again, I'd probably go for Maddison, but it's quite close, actually. Ings, Vardy, Richarlison or Kane? Ings and Richarlison. I'd go for the first set. Basically, the difference is Vardy or Kane. I'd go for Vardy, personally. Robertson and Salah to Trent and KDB. To be fair, I do like that, Charlie, yeah. Normally, that's quite sideways, and I actually prefer Robertson than Trent right now. But you would argue Trent is more likely to start in 37, which I'm guessing is the basis of your kind of logic there. Yeah, I'd do it, yeah. Especially Salah to KDB. Buy Richarlison or Ings. Think about 38. I think Richarlison's the better fixture. He's more likely to score than Ings, so I would go for Richarlison. Maddison might be the best Leicester asset. I think he is probably the best pound for pound, especially outfield. So Schmeichel, Vardy and Maddison, they've been the 3 best ones this season. Obviously, Vardy's been injured for a long period. I think Maddison's probably the best, yeah. Thoughts on Mane over De Bruyne on free hit? Yeah, but I don't really think too much about this. I mean, let's actually go through De Bruyne's points returns recently. So, look how consistent he's been. It's not just game week 36. So, obviously, he got the return against Newcastle, didn't play against Leeds, got 9 points against Watford, 6 against Brighton, 9 Liverpool, 11 against Burnley, blanked against Palace, 18 against United. Yes. Do I think De Bruyne is going to get 24 points? No. Do I think he's going to get double digits? Maybe not, but I think he will get a return, potentially. And I think he's probably the best like-for-like Salah replacement other than Son. So that's pretty much the way I see it. Now, what I could do, and I think it's definitely worth considering, is going for Diaz or Jota instead, maybe even Mane. And I agree with you. I think Liverpool's ceiling is higher than City's based on the fixture. So, look, it's quite tough. Yeah, predicted points, I'll show you that quite soon. Let me just go for a few more questions. KDB played Madrid, Newcastle, Wolves. Do you think he could be rested? Why would City rest him, though? This is arguably it's not even arguably, it is the toughest fixture left. And with a win here, they've almost secured the title. I don't think there's any chance KDB's rested. And KDB himself wouldn't want to be rested, even if he's not fully fit. Welcome, Sadindra. Is it worth selling Pookie, Kulusevski and James Robertson to Ings, Maddison, Zaha and Holgate for a -8? Yes, it is worth it. Especially if Kulusevski's missing, which, to be fair, there's quite a lot of rumours that he's ill. Kane or KDB captain, I would probably go for... That's quite tough. I think maybe Kane, and I know it sounds crazy because then why not just go for Kane yourself? I think it's just because I've already got Son, but I would go for Kane in isolation out of those two. How will you know who starts from the Leicester City match? We won't know unless someone in the know like Sam Martin has information, which so far that hasn't been the case. Let me go now to the... but I won't even show you FPL.team just yet, so I'll just show you the predicted points. I think that's what everyone wants to see. So just taking a small little break. We'll be back very soon. I'll be showing you the predicted points. Let me know what you think of this. Luca Dean predicted to have the highest points in Game Week 37. I mean, that would be crazy if that's the case. That guy, one of the biggest trolls in FPL for me at least. But let me know what you think of this list. Alright, so we're back. Oh, geez, damn allergies. So, here we go. So, Salah is actually still up there, but it hasn't really taken into account the injury that happened. Let me actually refresh the page and see if anything has changed, but I don't think that would be the case. Oh, it actually has, I think. Yeah, so Salah has gone down. So, here we go. This is the updated version. Luca D, Martinez, Richarlison making the top three. Then you've got more Villa players in Mings and Ings. Huh, nice one. And to be fair, I said this before, I think Villa have the best double of any team. You've got Maddison in there as well, right up there. Watkins, Coleman, Pickford and Cash all making the top 10 pretty much. Then you've got Zaha, Coutinho on identical predicted points there, 7.4. Konsa. And then from the single game week players, so we had Salah before at the top of the list. But yeah, just to double check, yeah, so Son is the highest in terms of predicted points. I agree with that. Damari Gray, Harry Kane, Nick Pope, Mikalenko, Calvert-Lewin and Iwobi. I wouldn't go for him, by the way. But yeah, there you go. That's kind of a extended list of the predicted points. Let me know what you think of this list. We're now going to go back to my team. And yeah, we're going to be locking in fairly soon. Remember, the deadline's at 10:30 a.m. So in pretty much 36 minutes. So it's not at 11 a.m. as usual. Yeah, how to see the expected teams. Are you talking about predicted lineups? So... look, in terms of predicted lineups, there's quite a lot of sites that do it. Fantasy Football Hub do it. There's also a few more. I think it might even be called predictedlineups.com or something. So there's actually quite a few that do it. Fantasy Football Scout as well do it. There's a lot of different sites that provide this, but obviously they only offer their opinion. And in terms of in the know, Twitter accounts, there's quite a few. And like I said, for Leicester, Sam Martin is the guy to go to. And I'm actually going to go on the page now and see if anything has been said. But I'll be honest, I'm not expecting anything because I think we would have heard something by now. Now, you never know. It can happen at any time. But yeah, I haven't seen any information just yet. Yeah, nothing so far. No information. If anyone sees any bit of kind of solid information from a verifiable source, then let me know and try to put the link as well in the live chat. But I honestly don't even know what the Leicester lineup will be. I just hope that it will be Vardy and Maddison should I go for them. So... yeah, look, Leicester lineup as well. One of the most searched results there for them. Yeah, I want to see any... okay, so I'll give you a predicted lineup here by Sport Early. I mean, is that even reliable? Probably not, but let's see what they think. Let's see, is this of tonight? Yeah, no, that's another day. Anything else we've got? No. Yeah, I'm trying to get as many predicted lineups as possible, but yeah, so let's check this one. It's quite a different one. So what do they think is going to happen? So they think it's going to be Schmeichel, Castagna, Fofana, Evans, Justin, Mendy, Maddison, Tielemans, Dewsbury Hall, Barnes, Vardy. I'd be quite happy with that, to be fair, but I just don't know. They could maybe get most of it right or all of it right. They could get quite a lot of things wrong. Who knows? I mean, Brendan Rodgers' rotation policy has been a bit of a joke, actually, this season. If you want, we can go through the predicted lineups from Fantasy Football Hub, if you wish. So bear with me for a second. And, we can just base our opinions off that, potentially, but it's not always going to be accurate. It's just literally informed kind of information and decision-making there. So it's all predictions. Let's see if I can find it. Predicted lineups. I think we should be able to get one pretty soon. All right. let's go through your questions as well in the meantime. Start Edison or Ramsdale? Definitely Edison, I think. Thank you for the super chat, Shivam. Much appreciated. Trent, Matip, Watkins, play one. Watkins for the double, really. Otherwise, it would be Trent in most cases. But thank you for your super chat, and let me know what you're currently thinking. But I would probably go for Watkins. I mean, he's got the double, and there's still a chance he starts against Crystal Palace. Apologies for that. I'm telling you, the allergies are quite annoying. Triple captain Son. I mean, you could go for a double game week player as well. But yes, I think from the single game week ones, I think Son this week or next week against Norwich is a great triple captaincy option. So, yeah, if you don't play this week, why not do it, against Norwich? I think Norwich is a better fixture than Burnley at home. Watkins or Ings or Vardy. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Ings, just because he's the safest of the lot to start both games, which is quite ironic. Normally you wouldn't say that. But yeah, in terms of who would I be most inclined to captain, it would be Vardy, but he's the most risky player. Hopefully that makes sense to you, but basically Ings is the one you'd rather have in your team overall. Vardy for the captaincy out of those three. Best midfielder under 6.7 million. Still Kulusevski and Saka for me. In terms of double gimmick players, I mean, it would be Gordon, who's right up there, and there wouldn't be too many other options, I think. And maybe Barnes. Yeah, I think Barnes would be probably the best double gimmick option. Is Son captain instead of Richarlison that risky? Not really. The risk is that Burnley have the right game plan. They frustrate Spurs. Spurs, they really struggle when they have to break down a team. But obviously, if they're facing a team that's kind of going at them, like a Liverpool or a City, or they get that one goal advantage, then that is literally the position Spurs want to be in, because then they can just execute their game plan. So it just depends on how that game turns out. I think there is a possibility Burnley, make Spurs drop points. So look, it is risky to a certain extent, but Son is just the most reliable player right now. Before it was Salah, right now Son is the most consistent. Start Gordon or Kane? I'd go for Kane, honestly. I wouldn't bench Kane. Should I start Gordon? Over who though? Laporte to Dean for a -4? This is the thing, I probably wouldn't, because in 38 as well, I prefer Laporte over Dean. And yeah, I just don't know if it's worth a -4. Maybe Cash I'd be a bit more inclined, but Luca Dean, I don't know, there's something in my head about him. Maybe it's bias, maybe. I don't know if I'd do that. I don't know if Amarty's definitely not starting, to be honest. He could start in the first game and then be benched. So let me get this document from Fantasy Football Hub up. So let me know what you think of this. Let's go to the Leicester lineup. So remember, these are just predictions made by Ben Dinnery, who does some good predictions at times, but obviously you can't expect someone to always get it right. So let's just simplify this. Yeah, so Leicester. Here we go. So we're in the Leicester lineup here. So he thinks Schmeichel, Castagna, Fofana, Evans, Justin will be the back line, with Mendy and Tielemans, Maddison, Dewsbury Hall, Barnes and Vardy. As you can see here though, look, people are quite, let's say, starting 11. This is the website I told you about, starting11.com. So yes, starts in the previous 5 fixtures. Okay, fair enough. So yeah, I think this figure, as you can see, not that many people think Vardy will start. Obviously still over half, but nowhere near as high as you would be comfortable with. Maddison as well. Now that would be a huge shame. Those who go for Maddison and Vardy, for them not to start in the end. But I think it's worth the risk. They could go big against Watford, despite their recent clean sheet against Everton. This is going to be very interesting. But the rest of the team, as you can see, Castagna I'd expect to start both games, especially against Watford. And I think he's a good option. I don't think he's been discussed enough. The same goes for Anderson. Coutinho as captain, I wouldn't go there personally, but he's got a great double, and I think he could do pretty well. It's just his recent form does put me off quite a lot. Let's see. Diogo says, morning Dylan, last week I asked you to confirm whether it was a good idea to do Havertz, Kulusevski, Pukki for KDB, captain, and Nketiah, Gordon for -8. You confirmed. I got 162. First of our mini leagues. Fair play, mate. You're the one who made the decision. And also, the reason why I probably recommended it is the KDB captaincy. I said it before, and I probably should have heeded my own advice. KDB was the best captain, in my opinion, last week. Now, did I expect him to score 4 goals? No. I don't think anyone did, especially, we all thought he'd get most of the points against Newcastle, and then maybe against Wolves, he'd get 6 points, and maybe in the first game he would have got 11 or more. It's absolutely crazy how it turned out. Fair play, and obviously Nketiah as well with 15 points. Gordon was just an enabler, really, but at least he got the appearance points there. fair play to you, mate. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you're in a good rank and you're enjoying FPL, and that's the most important thing. And thank you very much for sharing that. And obviously all the best of luck for Game Week 37 and 38. Watkins or Matip? I'd go for Watkins. Coutinho or Maddison? I prefer Maddison. Gordon over Ramsey. It's always Gordon Ramsey. Yes, I prefer Gordon. Dean or Coutinho? I think I'd go for Dean. I mean, I'm going for Dean myself right now. In isolation, let me just say this. In isolation, you would argue Coutinho's the better pick. I think so. But I think I would go for Dean myself. I know it sounds crazy. It's 50-50 really. And with Watkins potentially missing the first game, you would say Coutinho could start both games. However, if Watkins is fit enough to start the first game, then you would have doubts about Coutinho starting maybe the second game of 37, and then he plays against City in 38. So it's very difficult to kind of nail that on. But I just know, or at least I'm more confident of Dean starting both games. He's just come back from an injury though. There's a lot of things to take into account. You know what? I hate Dean. I'll go for Coutinho. I'm honestly 50-50 on that one, as you can tell. Zaha or Saka? Easily Zaha. No doubts about that one. Richarlison and De Bruyne or Diaz and Vardy? Good question. I think I would go for Richarlison and De Bruyne. Diaz, Jota, Maddison or Zaha for last 2 game weeks? That's a good question. That's really good. For the last 2 game weeks, I think I'd go for Maddison. Yeah, and it's risky. It's very risky, but I'd go for him. Hi Dylan, should I bring in Zaha for Kulusevski from -4? I probably would, Steve, yeah. Would you start Watkins, Anderson or Jota? I'd start Watkins. I have Trent and Alonso. Do you think both will play this week? Yes, I think they will both start. Yes, I need to take a hit to remove either. I think both of them will start, although if City drop points to West Ham, then yes, I'd be more confident of Trent starting. However, if West Ham do the unthinkable, they get a draw or a win there, then maybe Liverpool will be more inclined to maybe do some more rotation. It could be Trent on the bench for Joe Gomez. It's very difficult for me to tell, but I think both of them will start, basically. I'm more confident of Alonso. Chelsea have more days to recover. Thoughts on Mings? I think he's probably the 3rd best Villa defensive option behind Cash in first place and Dean in second. So yeah, I'd put Mings 3rd. Overall, Martinez is also slightly higher in the pecking order. Are you nailed on Richarlison as captain now? I don't think I'm nailed on. And in terms of last minute changes, the only reason I do that is because I'm literally thinking about it and it's 50-50. That's literally the only reasons I do that. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend copying. Dean es como un tiro al aire, puede ser muy bueno o muy malo. Por eso me pone en duda. No sé. Lo odio. Best captain. Best captain, I think it's between Richarlison, Vardy, and Danny Ings. I think those are probably the top 3. And then if I had to think about a few others, I would include the likes of Son, Zaha, and Mykolenko in that discussion, and Cash. But top 3 options, I think I'd probably go for the forwards this week. Kane or Vardy free here? I'd personally go for Vardy right now. It's very close though. Coutinho captain, fair enough. That's your call. I think I already, kind of answered your question there. But yeah, let's go back to my team. Actually, before we do that, let's go to the stats. So this is something I wanted to highlight. If you're looking for a Salah replacement, De Bruyne versus Mane over the season. As you can see, Mane with almost treble the amount of XG. In terms of the expected assists as well, not that much of a difference between the two. 27 big chances for Mane, and they both have the same amount of goals. 15 goals for De Bruyne, 15 for Mane. Look at this stat. De Bruyne 5 big chances, and he's scored all of them basically. I don't think he's missed a single big chance this season. He's created 15 himself, 78 key passes. But if you look at recent game weeks, De Bruyne has definitely been the more informed player. I would argue in this calendar year, De Bruyne has also been more informed. And if it wasn't for Salah's injury, I'd actually be quite concerned about Mane starting against Southampton. But with that injury and maybe Liverpool being, they're not going to risk Salah, I think, on Tuesday. I think Mane is more likely to start now. But his record isn't that great against Southampton. De Bruyne is decent against West Ham, considering the fact he's a midfielder as well. But let me know, which midfielder do you prefer? For the last 2 games of the season, I think I would go for Kevin De Bruyne. And, he's been in such great form, it's hard to ignore him. Saka Kulusevski. The thing is, I actually prefer Kulusevski for the last 2 game weeks. My problem is Kulusevski could be ill today, so take that with a pinch of salt. Assuming they're both fit, I would go for Kulusevski. Who should I start, Gaeta or Jose Sarr? I mean, I would go for Gaeta. It's just there are doubts about him. But yeah, I'd probably go for Gaeta. Diaz or Maddison? Maddison. Salah out for KDB or Zaha or Maddison? I think I would go for... That's tough. I think I'd still go for KDB. Who's the best captain this week? I literally just answered that. It's pretty much between Richarlison, Ings and Vardy, I think. If you're looking to chase rank, I'd go for Vardy. Also, I've already taken a -8. Is it worth removing Salah for Son from another -4? I think it is, because Salah's probably going to miss out. Son could do very well against Burnley. I will do that. Hi, Dylan, I'm on free hit. Also, please advise if the lineup looks good to you. Pick for Mikalenko, Cash, Dean, Son, Jota, Maddison, Zaha, Richarlison, Ings, Vardy. I've got exactly the same team except for Jota. You've got Jota in there. And I've got De Bruyne. Honestly, I think it's a good team. And you're kind of maximising the double gaming players. I think it's good, run it. Saka or Diaz? I'd go for Diaz. Saka, Maddison or Zaha for the final three. The last two game weeks. I think I would rather go for... It's between Maddison and Zaha. And I think I would risk it with Maddison. I think so. Hi Dylan, what's your thoughts on removing Salah for Son, Havertz for Zaha and Van Dijk for Trent, taking a -8, have Maddison already? I would do it, yeah. I think that's fine. Yeah, Ashraf, I'll do that. I don't think there's much more to comment on there. Yeah, I think that's completely fine. Normally I'd say no to Van Dijk to Trent, but obviously he's injured. He's probably going to miss out. I'd do it. Should I get Jota or Mahrez to replace Havertz? I'd get Jota instead of Mahrez, I think. How many hits is too much for a bench boost? It depends on the players you bring in and bring out, but I wouldn't want to take like massive hits, like a -12 or above, honestly. That's just the way I see it. Even a -8 I'd be quite uncomfortable with. Dean in for a -12? Who do you get rid of though, Arthur? That's the question as well. If you're getting rid of kind of an average single game weeker for Luka Dean who's got a double, then yes, I would take a hit. But he does face City in 38, so just try not to play him against City because I just don't see returns for him. Thank you for the super chat, Shivam. Captain, Son, Coutinho, Maddison. Out of those three, it's between... Look, I know it sounds crazy, and maybe Coutinho is on paper the best one, but I think I would go for either Son or Maddison. And I think Son. I think if I had to pick, it'd be Son out of those three, yeah. It's quite tough. I know he's only got one game, but out of those three, I'd be most confident in Son. And it could backfire. And Coutinho could be a really nice differential captaincy, by the way. I'm not really feeling him at the moment, but you never know. And he had a few good moments against Liverpool. I think I'd go for Son, though. Thanks, mate. I think Maddison could go big in all three games, to be fair. So Zaha's a safe pick, yeah. Also biased because I think Everton beat Palace. I mean, that's definitely possible. I hope Everton, kind of secure their status in the Premier League before they face Arsenal, because if they don't, I think it's going to be really difficult for Arsenal to break down. So I'm kind of hoping Everton, get their stuff done, maybe rotate against Arsenal, that'd be great, and then we can all celebrate. I already have Gordon. Is it still worth getting Richarlison? I think with Gordon, though, he's an enabler. I don't like him too much in your starting 11, in my opinion. I mean, this is maybe not something a lot of people say, but I don't like Gordon as a starting 11 player. He's just a good player to have on your bench. Now, I would get Richarlison, yes. I think he's the best Everton asset overall, alongside Mikalenko and Pickford. Hi, Dylan. Any in to know about Villarreal Leicester? I wish, mate. We were kind of expecting or hoping for Sam Martin to give information about Leicester, but right now there's nothing. Maybe now. Let me just check, but I'm not really expecting anything here, unfortunately. So let me just double check. Yeah, still nothing. Let me check if there's anything here. Yeah, no news, mate. No news. Captain Vardy. It's risky. It's very risky. But if you're looking to chase rank, yes, I'd say go for it. 1 second, by the way. Okay, it's all good now. Zaha and Kane or De Bruyne and Richarlison? I would go for De Bruyne and Richarlison. Worth taking a punt captaining Ings? I think it's worth a punt. I actually said that Ings for me is in my top 3 captaincy options this week. So yeah. Yeah, Watkins news is pretty much what I said earlier a few times, and it's not really something that broke today, basically. So a few days ago, Gerrard said that Watkins should, be good to play a part against Crystal Palace. Now, what I get from that is that he could come off the bench, and also he was in the training pictures yesterday, but he hasn't been training for the whole week. He's only been training for maybe a day or two. So I think personally he's going to come off the bench, but let's just wait and see. Barnes or Pukki, as Barnes gets rotated a lot. Still Barnes, mate. It still has to be Barnes. He's got the double, and Pukki's been quite useless recently. Richarlison or Ings? I would go for Richarlison if I had to pick one. Start one, Alonso, Rudiger or Cody? I would go for Alonso, actually. just for the attacking upside. And he's been in great form. He was one of the best players in the FA Cup final. And I think he starts against Leicester. However, Cody obviously faces Norwich. Maybe he's got the best chance of a clean sheet, but I would go for Alonso. Should I go KDB or Coutinho? That's tough. I would go for KDB still. And yeah, you don't have Ings or Watkins. I would go for one Villa attacker. I prefer Villa, offensively than Everton, personally. So I would go for one Villa attacker. If you're set on going without Ings and Watkins, then yes, I'd go for Coutinho then. Son and Ings or Vardy and Zaha, Coutinho, Maddison. I would go for Son and Ings. Yeah. Mane and Vardy or Diaz and Kane. It's a tough one. These are tough calls. On the free hit, okay, fair enough. I think I would go for Mane and Vardy. Laporte to Dean for -4. He would start in place for Saka. Look, I think the hit is worth it. Just bear in mind, in the next round in 38, Dean faces City. I don't like that, to be honest. Let me just go back to my team now. Yeah. Watkins playing chances. I think he starts the second game. I'm not sure about the first. I think he might come off the bench. That's just based on the information we got recently, the one I literally just disclosed as well. But there's nothing we've seen today. Yeah, and Jay, in terms of transfers, there's no transfers per se because I've basically, I played the free hit and nothing's really changed from the beginning of the stream. I haven't made any late changes so far. Which free to start between Cancelo, Laporte, Robertson and Holgate? I'd start Holgate, I would start Cancelo and then probably Robertson. Just bear in mind there is a risk of Robertson not starting. They come off with a cramp and there's such a short turnaround for Liverpool. Thank you FPL Diamond for the shout out. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you very much. And yeah, as he says, be sure to subscribe. If I've helped you out with any of these questions, why not show a bit of love? But thank you very much to everyone who's already done so. Thank you very much. And let's see, what kind of aim are we trying to get to? Yeah, let's try to get to 100 likes. We're just 8 away, so let's try to get to 100 likes. Keep smashing the like button and subscribing if you're new. And we're less than 100 subscribers away from 11,000, so let's be sure to get to that milestone before the end of the season. There's only pretty much a week left, so it'd be much appreciated if we get to that figure. And thank you very much to everyone who's already supported the channel. And also on Patreon and the channel members, thank you very much to everyone. Pick 3 of Kane, Ings, Richarlison and Vardy. It would be Ings, Richarlison and Vardy, pretty much, yeah. Obviously, Kane is probably one of the better single gaming options, but I think I'd go for those 3. Salah, Mount and Pukki to Son, Richarlison and Zaha for a -4. Yep, I'd do that, cannon fodder, yep. Start Laporte or Matip? I'd go for Matip. Will Mane start? I think so now with what happened in the FA Cup. However, there is still the possibility of it being Jota, Diaz and Firmino. That could be a possibility, but I think Salah will be rested. He won't be exerted there, and therefore increases Mane's chances of starting. Start Mount or Saka? I'd rather start Mount, actually. Sterling will destroy West Ham this week, as usual. I don't know about destroy, but I think he will do well. Yes, if he starts, I think he'll do pretty well. Start Laporte or Royale? I'd start Royale this week. De Bruyne or Kane? This week, in isolation, Kane is arguably the better option. The reason why I haven't gone for him myself is because I actually like these 3 forwards more than Kane. And then when I look at the midfielders, I only would consider the kind of Liverpool forwards or, the midfielders there. De Bruyne, yeah, already. Zaha worth a hit? Yes, but it depends who you get rid of. Diaz or Maddison? I go for Maddison. Is Cancelo not worth it on a free hit? He's worth it. It's just City are kind of threadbare at the back and they're facing West Ham. Even though I back City to win, I wouldn't be surprised if West Ham sneak a goal. And the games have been quite tight between them recently. Look, he's still a great option. It's just I'm not going for him. And I prefer having the double gaming players. Let me just deal with the spammers, by the way. So, yeah, bear with me a second. How about Trossard? I think he's one of the better single gaming options, especially, at a cheap price. He's been fantastic. I think he could do very well against Leeds. But would I go for him over Maddison, Zaha, Salah, Son? Well, not Salah. KDB? No, I wouldn't. And even the likes of Mane, Diaz and Jota. Why did I transfer earlier? Watkins transferring 4 days ago. Yeah, look, early transfers can always come back to bite you. And with the FA Cup final, with the kind of midweek games, obviously we've still had Double Gameweek 36 still going on. I would never recommend early transfers, especially at this stage of the season where team value isn't that important. You've already kind of built most of your team value for, all of these months. Will Mount start? I think so, yeah. Mane played 120 minutes. Will he start? I mean, I answered your question already. Like, there's more of a chance of him starting with Salah out. That's not a guarantee that Mane will start, but it has increased his chances quite a lot. Like I already said, it could be Jota, Diaz and Firmino. So just, it's up to you what you think. What do I think? I think Mane starts, but if it wasn't for Salah's injury, I was actually kind of expecting Game Week 37 to be Mane's kind of rest zone. So it just depends on the recovery, honestly. And there's not much more I can really say. I don't have any in-the-know information. I'm just offering my opinion there. Start Weghorst or Cody, I would go for Cody. Gordon and Emerson or Diaz and Mikalenko, I would go for Diaz and Mikalenko. Start Saka, Bowen or Bernardo, I would go for Saka out of those three. Triple captain Son, Richarlison or Cash, I would triple captain probably Richarlison out of those three. Yes, I'm aware of that, Adil. Yeah. Pedro Neto on the free hit, not for me. I wouldn't go for any Wolves attackers. Maybe they're defenders, but even then, no. Yeah, anyone who's spamming the chat, I'm sorry, but you're not going to have your question answered. There's no need for that. Alright, FPL Diamond. Let me just do that for a second. Yeah, you're a moderator. Thank you very much. Why not Anderson? I mean, I had him in my team earlier. I've actually talked about him being a good option. Palace have been the 4th best defence in the last 6 game weeks and also in the whole season. It's just, I'm not too sure. I'm kind of backing certain teams for a clean sheet more so than Palace, like Everton and Villa. It could backfire, but yeah, I'd rather go all in on one team, or 2 teams in this case. Foster to Pickford from -4. Yeah, look, in that case, look, it's not a bad transfer. It's just goalkeeper transfers for a hit with 2 game weeks left. I don't like it too much, but I think it's worth it. Coutinho and Vardy or Ings and Maddison. I'd go for, that's a tough one. You know what? I'd go for Coutinho and Vardy, but it's 50-50, honestly. Ings over Watkins, why? Because Watkins is actually more of a doubt to start the first game. That's pretty much it. He got an injury against Liverpool. He got a knock. Broja, Dennis Mount, Kulusevski, Salah out for a -12 on bench boost. Yeah, look, that's fair enough. I think I'm not sure who you're getting in though. That's the thing. But look, you don't need to get rid of Mount, for example. Kulusevski with the illness rumours, yes, potentially Salah as well. Broja's useless and Dennis is injured, so yes. But I don't think you need to get rid of Mount. I think he's still a good option, especially in 38. Vardy, Eze, Son, or Son, Maddison and Ings. Son, Maddison and Ings. Definitely, I'd do that. Thank you, FPL Diamond. Dean or Mikalenko? I actually prefer Mikalenko as an option in isolation, yeah. As someone asked me before, who do I think are the 3 best defenders? I think Cash, Mikalenko and Dean in that order, pretty much. Best captain, it's between Richarlison, Ings and Vardy, I think. I'm just still waiting for any kind of, hopefully, any kind of news we can get on Vardy, but I'm just not too sure. Yeah, so we now got 111 likes, so thank you everyone for doing that. And in terms of subscribers, we are now 80 away. So if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. It really helps out. And we're very close to that milestone and then looking to push on for next season. And let's get this video to 150 likes. So keep smashing the like button and all that good stuff. And keep getting your questions in. We're going to whiz through these now. How bad is Salah's injury? Is he a definite sell? Well, Klopp actually said that he probably won't start or won't play against Southampton. The same goes for Van Dijk. His injury is more serious than Van Dijk's, but it's not too bad, basically. So it's not something to really be worried about long term. I think he'll be fine for 38, definitely for the Champions League final, but he will probably miss out in 37, basically. And I would get rid of him. Yeah, if no hit chips left, I would probably do Salah to KDB, or if you don't have Son, this is the easiest way of getting him in now. Why not Liverpool and City defence? You can't have everyone. Honestly, you can't have everyone. That's the kind of simple answer to that. And also with Liverpool going the full distance, against Chelsea in the FA Cup final, that puts me off their players. The likes of Robertson as well. I just don't know if he's going to start. Even Trent, let's say for example, City get the win and they've almost secured the title. Liverpool could then be like, well, you know what? We can still beat Southampton anyway with our second team. And we're relying on City to drop points against Villa at home. They could go for Joe Gomez instead of Trent. And so I have a few doubts about Liverpool rotation there. They play on Tuesday, it's such a quick turnaround. And also, their main concern or their main priority is the Champions League final now. Then you look at City, they're just depleted at the back. And who knows if Laporte and Fernandinho will start. And it could be a makeshift back line. So, and they're facing West Ham after all. So in my opinion, I don't think you necessarily need those assets. I would rather have Liverpool assets though. They face Southampton, their ceiling's higher. I could see a 4-0 win at least. It could be 6-7, even 8. I mean, Southampton are that poor, genuinely. Maddison or Zaha? Like I said already, look, the poll kind of is quite conclusive. Zaha, thank you, by the way, to the over 500 voters there. Let's end the poll. I would rather go for Maddison for the upside, but in terms of who's the kind of safer pick, who would you want for sure in your free hit team? It's obviously going to be Zaha, but in terms of like who do I think has the higher upside and who do I slightly kind of favour for a bigger haul, it's Maddison. So it's kind of an unpopular pick, but that's the way I see it. Dewsbury Hall or Gordon? I prefer Gordon, but I wouldn't want to start either of them, to be quite fair there. Why not Barnes over Maddison? I just prefer Maddison as an option. He's got more points all season. He's more explosive. He was man of the match against Norwich. I just prefer Maddison as an option. Mahrez, should I keep him or sell him? Honestly, I'd sell, personally. He could start against West Ham and it could come back to bite you, but I just don't think he's a great option in FPL. Saka to Zaha for -4. Yes, I'd do it, Toby. Captain Gordon? No, I wouldn't even start Gordon. I would never captain him. Stay with Kane. I'd rather go with Kane. Yep. Second in my league by 30 points. Honestly, I would not captain Gordon. Obviously, it's up to you. Play the game you want, but I would never do it myself, personally. Thank you, Saketh, for the super chat. If you've got any message, then let me know. Thank you very much for that. I very much appreciate it, mate. Play Trent or Reece? I would go for Trent. Good morning, FPL Diamond. Maddison or Gordon? Maddison. Do I get Trent out to fund Vardy? I probably would, yeah. You could do Trent and Matip or just go to another Everton, Villa or Palace defender. So Anderson, Mikalenko, Holgate, and obviously, Luka Dean, Cash, Mings, etc. Is Gay fit? Should I start him over Foden? I'm pretty sure he's still kind of doubtful, so I'm not too sure about that. And that's another reason why I didn't go for Anderson in the end. Fantasy Football Scout has predicted Gomez to start right back. Look, like I said, there is a possibility of that happening, and I don't think Liverpool need to start. And also, you think of Joe Gomez, he's been very good when he comes in, and which game is he going to play? And it's going to be either Wolves in the last game of the season or Southampton in 37. So I don't think that's a bad prediction. I honestly don't think so. And that's another reason why I haven't gone for Trent. I'm not 100% sure if he starts. Kulusevski news, I wish I could tell you, but I haven't seen anything yet. Let me just double check Leicester, by the way. We've got 5 minutes left for the deadline. Lock in your teams. Let's get this stream to 150 likes. Look, Sam Martin says there's nothing. A lot of people are kind of, pressing him. I mean, look, if he doesn't have information, he doesn't have information. But yeah, it'll be typical. As soon as the deadline passes, he then says, Vardy's benched or something, and we will just cry. Let me check Kulusevski, by the way. But if anyone has seen anything from a reliable source, be sure to let us know in this chat right now. But yeah, I'm searching Kulusevski right now, trying to see if there's anything here. A lot of sources yesterday were saying that he's ill and that he's going to miss out against Burnley today, and that would be a big blow. This is the latest I've seen. This is kind of a few hours ago. So let me get this on Twitter. This is by Alistair Gold. So he says, Kulusevski has been feeling unwell in recent days, not COVID related, and his status will be assessed this morning as to whether he can start, be on the bench, or must miss out entirely. So basically, anything can happen. Kulusevski could be in the starting lineup. He could be anything. Any of these scenarios are possible, and that's not really what you want to hear as a Kulusevski owner. So I think if you have him, you could just get rid to Zaha, for example. This is a great opportunity to do a transfer like that. Thank you, Aranya, for being a member for 7 months. Much appreciated. Let me try to get your message out. Hey, Dylan, Salah to Son or KDB? I would go to Son. As much as I think KDB's probably the best Premier League player. Yeah, I think so. Also, should I replace Kulusevski for a hit? Yes, as we're reading out right now, I think I would get rid of him, yeah. Who to start between James and Alonso? I prefer Alonso right now, and I think he's more likely to start both games. Well, not both games, I'm used to double gaming, sorry. I think Alonso's more likely to start in 37 and 38. Bench order, I would go for James first, probably Laporte second, Pukki third. A few questions. Who should I captain this game week? Honestly, look, all these captaincy questions is up to you. I'm offering my opinion only. I would go, from those players you said, I would actually go for either Cash or Son. Should I triple captain this game week or next? Not too sure. Maybe this week and go for a double game week player. Bench 2 out of Amati, Van Dijk, James and Mount. I would bench Van Dijk. I don't think he's going to play. And also Amati. So hopefully you got those answers, Suryanch. Let me see if there's anything else. I think we're all good there. Diaz versus Coutinho. Oh yeah, so that's your super chat question, Saketh. Hopefully you're still here. I would rather go for Coutinho this week, yeah. Yeah, I already answered your question, Suriancha. If you got it, then try not to spam the chat because you're going to be timed out by people. Will Vardy start against Watford? I can't tell you. I can't tell you for sure, honestly. I'm trying to get the information myself so then I can provide it to you and everyone can see in the stream in the same place. But I honestly don't see any news about Vardy or Leicester yet. I don't think there's any information. We just won't know. It's going to be a risk. It's going to be a risk. Will Sterling play? Yes, I think so. Pep kind of sometimes structures his team in a way where if someone like Sterling has a great record against West Ham, he's going to play him, basically. I'm going to go back to my team now, by the way, and I think I'm going to be locking in. I mean, we have to now. We've got 3 minutes left for the deadline. Be sure to do so. So I'm going for Pickford in goal, Mykolenko, Cash and Dean. I'm going really big with the double Gameweek defenders. De Bruyne, Maddison, Son and Zaha. I'll be honest, a few times during the stream I have been considering a late swap to Diaz and Jota and maybe even Mane, but I'm just not too sure there. I think I might just go for De Bruyne in the end. I'm going for Richarlison as the captain, just because I'm not too sure if Vardy starts both games, and the main one is Watford, and Danny Ings. That completes my starting 11. I've got Brownhill, Sessegnon and Tsimikas on the bench. Obviously, I've got like 4 million in the bank. I could go for Trent or Robertson, for example, in for Sessegnon, or Anderson, who I think is probably the 4th or 5th best defender from the double Gameweek options available. But I'm trying to jinx Spurs, okay? So hopefully you understand that. But I think I'm going to captain Richarlison. I'm not a big fan of the captaincy this week, and I might even do a late switch right now. I'm just checking Twitter right now. If I see any kind of inkling of Vardy starting, I could go to him. But I don't think there's a standout captaincy. Ings as well is, someone worth considering. But yeah, it's honestly quite a tough week to kind of decide on the captaincy and all these transfers. A lot of 50-50 calls. Vardy versus Kane, in my opinion. De Bruyne versus a Liverpool attacker, for example. And also, you could argue with my defence as well. Not going for Anderson could be a 50-50 call. That goes against me, but you can't get it all right. We've now got just over a minute left, so be sure to lock in your teams. And I'm checking Twitter on my phone and on my laptop as well. It's absolutely crazy, but yeah, nothing so far, and I think we are good to go. I could honestly go for Kane in for Vardy, and that might be the way to go. I'm just not too sure if I will end up doing that myself. It would be literally a late decision. Damn, this is quite mental, isn't it? Vardy. Oh my god. Best 3 defenders. I already answered this before, so for me it would be between Cash, Mykolenko and Dean. I think they're the top 3. Thank you, Yang. Is Cash a good captain? I think so. I think he's one of the better ones. He's probably the best defender captain this week as well. As much as I'd love to jinx Mr. What's his name? Mr. Richarlison, or not Mr. Richarlison, Mr. Kane, I think I'm going to go this way. We are kind of locked in now. Yeah, I'm just going to keep it there. I was thinking maybe last minute switch to Vardy, but I'm not going to risk it. I'm going for Richarlison. And there we go. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not too sure about the captaincy this week. I think maybe it's a mistake to go for Richarlison. I've said it all week. I'm not a huge fan of him as a captaincy option. But there we go. It's kind of locked in there. And I think I'm generally happy with this team. The captaincy, I just don't know who to really kind of bet it on. There's no... If Son had a double, obviously he would be by far my favourite option, but he doesn't. So there we go. We are all set, and good luck. That's all we can say. All the best of luck now. We're finished. We are absolutely finished. Hopefully you enjoy the week. And yeah, all the best of luck to all of you. And most importantly of all, enjoy the football. Ings or Vardy? Look, I would have probably said Ings. For a free hit team, who would I rather have? Probably Ings. As a captaincy option, as much as they're probably both in my top 3, I think I would have rather gone for Vardy. And the reason behind that logic, I know it sounds kind of contradictory, is because I think Vardy is more explosive. And that game against Watford alone, he can get 14 points or something crazy. As for Ings, though, he's just someone you want to have in your team. With Watkins potentially missing the first game, or at least not starting, I think Ings covers Villa's attack pretty well, and their double is better than Leicester's. But in terms of that sheer... I mean, also what you have to consider is Vardy's very good against top 6 opposition, although Chelsea is probably one of the worst kind of records he has against. But Vardy is just so explosive, and that's why as a captaincy option, for me it's Vardy. In terms of your normal team, it's Ings. Yeah, Captain Ings, good luck, mate. Good luck. Captain Son or Ings, I would have probably gone for Ings just about, but... Yeah, let's wait and see. Schmeichel benched. What? Oh, no way. Don't tell me. Yeah, it's typical, isn't it? Now we get the information. Oh, God almighty. Yeah, I haven't seen anything so far from Sam Martin himself. Let me check this Schmeichel business, but yeah, that'd be crazy. I mean, I haven't got it myself, but yeah, let's wait and see. If I see anything like this, I'll be sure to let you know. Oh yeah, so okay, so this is Team Team News and Ticks. So I'm not 100%, but I'm told there could be a surprise in goal for Leicester today. Hate tweeting this early because hard to be sure, but FPL deadline, yeah, okay, so 10:28. So fair enough. Someone said Kulusevski starts against Burnley, by the way. That's great. I'm not sure if he's reliable. Apparently got something right recently. So yeah, for any of you who sold Kulusevski or if you have him, apparently Kulusevski starts against Burnley. That's what I just saw now. It's typical now that we get all this information. No problem, Suryanch. Locked in, yeah, we're all locked in. Good luck, mate. I go Vardy for captain. Yeah, I like the idea a lot. It's just the doubts about the minutes kind of put me off a little bit. Otherwise, I think Vardy would have been my captain. Yeah, a lot of people saying I should have gone for Vardy or Ings as captain. I think those were the two I was considering as well, along with Richarlison. Good luck, Galactic Hobbit. Thank you, FPL Diamond, for the shout out. Yeah, Kane captain locked. Honestly, look, good luck to your FPL team, but I hope Kane blanks. That's just the way I see it. Even Son, I have him. I hope he blanks. I'd be very happy with that. Richarlison captain was a mistake. I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of any of the captaincy options. I captain Mane. I mean, good luck. That could be a mistake as well. You never know. I bottled it kind of. I have Luis Diaz and Trent on free hit. To be fair, I think they're good options, especially Diaz. I think he'll start. Not too sure about Trent though. Aboy and Cody hoping Wolves will keep a clean sheet against Norwich. From the single game week teams, Wolves are one of the more likely, but they've just been so shaky, Wolves, that I'm just not too sure. They've been awful in 2022. Hi, I came home from my fantasy team from work. Yeah. Hopefully you locked in your team, Chelsea Blues, and yeah, all the best, mate. Well, I'm going to captain Cancelo captain. Wow. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have done that. You never know, though. Cancelo's so good, he could haul against anyone, but yeah, that's something I haven't seen. Yeah, FPL Diamond, I'm guessing you're saying Kulusevski there. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you to FPL Focal. Thank you very much. So let me just try to address all of you one by one. So yeah, thank you, Sharia. Thank you. Let me try to get through all of these. So yeah, once again, thank you, FPL Focal, for the raid. Much appreciated. And YouTube should do something like Twitch where you can literally click a button and you can do it. But let's see. So Vardy is great for penalties also. Yes, he is. It's just the concern is he going to get both games? I mean, that's why I didn't captain him, but I had the captaincy on him in my team selection, but that doesn't count for anything, does it? So good luck to you, FPL Diamond. So let's see. Sudindra says, I saw James Kulusevski and Pukki to Holgate, Zaha and Captain Ings. Didn't take Maddison because of rotation risk. Yeah, I can understand that. And bench Laporte for Robertson, but I started Cancelo. It's still good decision making, and I can understand why you didn't go for Maddison, to be fair. I think that's good. Kulusevski is going to start today, it looks like, but I think it's still a good transfer going to Zaha. Thank you, Suryanch. I'm planning to triple captain KDB next game week. I think I'd either captain KDB or Son, and I think Son would be my triple captain if I still had it left. Yeah, Kulusevski's present with the team. Yep, there you go. So yeah, thank you, Julian. Joey. Yeah, Shauri as well. Thank you for that, especially if it's true. Thank you very much. Minj. Okay, yeah, I don't want to get that wrong. Nurjan as well. Brett. Yusop, Joey, Savros, John, Martin. I mean, so many people here. Tango as well. So thank you very much. I mean, I'm so far behind in the chat. Jesus Christ, I'm quite slow. I'm like an old man. So yeah, thank you, Sharia, for the shout out. Much appreciated. Do you think it's possible Leicester could keep a clean sheet? Yes, I think so. Against Watford, as bad as Chelsea have been this year, I think they will score. But against Watford, I could see Castagna, for example, getting a double-digit return. Why didn't I go for him? Probably because I'm dumb. Saving my free hit to Game Week 38. Fair enough. And look, you might have been in a position where you had a lot of Villa and Everton assets with double game weeks. I didn't have that luxury. So it's a team-dependent thing. That's why a lot of people will sometimes say, well, what chip should I use and when should I use it? It ultimately depends on your team. I will offer my opinion, but I could be wrong as well. I'm on triple Spurs attack. I'm not even going to say the last part of your sentence there, but obviously good luck there with your team. Yeah, so thank you, Kate, as well. Strawberry 14, Jamie as well, Catalin, Schmeichel on the bench. Yeah, so that's what Team News and Ticks was saying. So it looks like it could be true. Let's see if Sam Martin has said anything. Obviously, it's too late now, but you never know. And it's just a shame he didn't get information before. Yeah, no, he hasn't said anything himself. But yeah, let's see if there's anything else. Leanne as well. Andrew says Captain Zaha. I've seen a few people do that actually. So all the best, mate. I wish you all the best. I like differential captaincies like that. The same goes for Mikalenko. I've seen a few of those. Pickford, Cash. I really like those. FPL River as well. Joey, Jamie. Yeah, FPL Diamond. Yes. FPL Focus says awesome team, Dylan. I went Richarlison captain too. I'll be honest, mate. I'm not a big fan of Richarlison, but I just captained him because I wasn't sure enough of Vardy getting both starts. That's pretty much what it comes down to. No KDB. Well, I've got him. But in terms of captaincy, no. I don't think I would have captained him away to West Ham. If he scores 4 goals again, okay. Hey, mate, Pickford captain. This is what I mean. I really like these kind of differential captaincies. I've never captained a goalkeeper. Will I ever do it? Maybe I should one day, just to kind of put it in the bucket list. Morris triple captain. Good luck, mate. But I'll be honest, I'm just very skeptical about that because Mahrez just barely gets starts in the Premier League. I mean, it's just crazy. I hope it goes well for you. And Mahrez is such a great player, but triple captain, wow. Talk about risky. All the best, mate. It was either Cody or Sessegnon for Spurs, yeah. And like I already said, I mean, why do I even have Sessegnon to jinx, really? So yeah, you went for Cody, fair enough. First time on your channel from Japan, nice. Wow. I think that's the first time I've seen someone say they're from Japan, you know, so thank you very much. Big up Japan, and thank you very much for tuning in today, mate. Thank you, FPL Jones Bloke as well. N Taylor as well. So many people in here as well. Thank you very much. Jamie A, Mukri, Mohammed. Who else do we have? I think there's a few more. But yeah, let's go through the questions themselves. Yeah, I'm stupid. I wanted Captain Vardy, but my app crashed and I couldn't lock in. So guess I'm a Man City fan, annoyed, but not the end of the world. No, I mean, fair enough. In terms of the captaincy, I try to lock it in even the night before, basically. So just in case I don't wake up, I just get it done, basically. But it's not the end of the world. I will say, though, Cancelo wouldn't really be anywhere near kind of my consideration, but you never know. FPL's a funny game. Aming's captain, so scared. To be fair, that's arguably better than Richarlison. It's very close. I don't think it's like a 60-40 decision. I think it's ultimately like 51-49 between the two. What else do we have? So good luck, Dylan. Everyone, hope we get a Granara. Good luck, Sidindra. All the best, mate. Only 2 game weeks left. Let's just go for it, as Mohammed said with his triple captaincy there. Richarlison, red card, mate. I just laughed at this point. I don't think I'd really cry or something like that. Triple captain Klein. No way. Really? I mean, good luck, mate. I mean, that's probably the most differential captain I've seen in a long time. Same team, just Mane in place of Maddison and Vardy cap. Wait, would I even be able to afford that? I still got my transfers thing up. I haven't actually tested that. I don't... Actually, I think I could or not. No, I would have been 0.3 off, although I could have just done Sessegnon to a Marty to afford that. Fair enough, mate. I like that idea. It's just I backed Maddison to start against Watford, and that's why I went for him. But hopefully Mane starts for you and he gets the points. All the best, mate. What else do we have? Welcome all. Yeah, thank you, FPL Diamond, for another shout-out. Honestly, it's much appreciated. What else do we have? No Vardy, apparently, from FPL Rush. Is he reliable? I honestly don't know. Song captain, pretty reliable. Yeah, nah. From the single gimmick options I've said all week, for me he's the best one. And he's in my top 5 captaincy options overall. So let me just double check this. So... no Vardy apparently, yeah. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Let me check. At this point, you just be like, whatever. I mean, let's see. I'm checking latest tweets as well. Yeah, I just don't know how reliable he is. Maybe he is. Someone, if you do know, let me know. But I'm just not too sure. Yeah, it seems... I saw a few people say, oh, Vardy, but I don't know if that's actually the case. Yeah. I'll just keep going for the questions then. I haven't seen anything yet. Ings or Watkins? I would have gone for Ings myself, just because of Watkins just coming back from a knock. My team exactly the same as yours. What a coincidence, but I got Zaha captain and Richarlison vice. Arguably, that's even better of a captaincy option as well. It's just the away fixtures that put me off. But honestly, look... Let's say, for example, Everton win the first game and they're safe. What if they rest the likes of Richarlison, or Richarlison gets his customary red card? So yeah, I like the Zaha captaincy, to be fair. All the best, mate. And I think a lot of our teams will be similar with the free hit. I'm from Egypt. Yeah, I've actually know a lot of people, who watch these streams that are from Egypt. Big up Egypt. Thank you very much, Ahmed. From Nigeria, thank you so much for your help. Thank you, Phillips Jr. And all the best, mate. And Nigeria, always in Argentina's group in the World Cups. And I know quite a lot of people from Nigeria. I captain Ings. Good luck, Ahmed. And I like that as well. I think he was my top 3. So in terms of ranking, I honestly have no idea. But Ings would have been right up there with Vardy and also Richarlison. It would make my day if I could put on mod. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll consider it. The thing is, like, as well, I kind of put mods. I don't want to put too many. The way I kind of structure the mods is people who've watched consistently and also are quite respectful. They kind of understand, just put your question once and then they, they're quite patient as well. But yeah, I'll definitely consider it for sure. Richarlison red card, please laugh. No, I would laugh, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to cry about it. And I'm not Richarlison's biggest fan, I'll be honest. Who to captain Son or Vardy? I mean, I would have actually said Vardy. But if Vardy misses out today, then obviously in hindsight, maybe not the best decision, but I would have gone for Vardy. On a free hit, Ings captain, Mahrez plus KDB plus Cancelo and Son plus Kane going big differential. Wish me luck. I mean, good luck, mate. Those are good choices. Ings captain I like. Mahrez is the one not even least worried about. The one I'm most concerned about. The rest is, pretty good. Said that before. Vardy party, hopefully. That's all we can hope for at these turbulent times. Dylan Global. Yeah, I'm not sure what global, but let's see what kind of new target we could set. So yeah, we've got over 200 viewers here. Thank you very much to everyone, and thank you once again to FPL Focal for rating the stream. Much appreciated. We'll probably stay up for the lineup in 17 minutes. Let's try to get this video to 200 likes now. We've got 157. Once again, thank you very much. And a new subscriber target. Let me just double check this. So we were 80 away from 11,000. We're now 72 away. So if you are new around here, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. And there's much more FPL and UCL fantasy content if you play any of those games, and also F1 fantasy if you are interested. Cash captain, all the best, Amir. And like I said before, he's probably my favourite defender captaincy option this week. Then it would have probably been Mykolenko. Thank you, Galactic Hobbit, for becoming a differential. Thank you very much, another channel member. So much appreciate everyone who sent in the super chats and became a member today. Thank you very much, Galactic Hobbit and Amir. So let's see. I'm going to go up a bit in the stream and see what else was said. Gupta says, went Pickford, Klein, Cash, Mykolenko, Zaha, captain, Maddison, Son, Diaz, Richarlison, Vardy, Ings, vice captain, hoping for a decent game week. To be fair, you're probably in for one, and all you really want to hope for is that Vardy and Maddison start, and I think that could be a big part in getting the rank you want and that green arrow. I like your defence. Klein is quite different. And he has been decent recently. My preference is Anderson, but you never know, and I think Klein is a good option there. I really like Mykolenko and Cash. You've covered most of the key players there. I started Cancelo, Saka, James over Mateta and Nketiah. Thoughts? I probably would have done the same thing, to be fair. Yeah, I think so. Captain Coutinho. It's quite weird, isn't it? A lot of people went without Coutinho on the free hit. That could be a blessing, but it could also be a curse. Those of you who had Coutinho in your normal teams, it's kind of harder to get rid of him when he's got such a good double. And he's capable of a huge return. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he does it and he damages our ranks. But I like that. I like that. Schmeichel not playing, how in the world? Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, if this is not down to injury or illness, I honestly have no idea about Brendan Rodgers. Big fan from Saudi Arabia. Who to captain Son or Vardy? Thank you very much. Big up Saudi Arabia as well. I would have captained Vardy. And look, he might not start today and it's a mistake, but I think I would have gone for Vardy. Love from Bangladesh. Yeah, of course I do. I know some people from Bangladesh as well, from secondary school and, just in general. So yeah, I do know about them. Yes, okay. So yeah, in terms of mods as well, I sometimes I go back on the streams and then I add mods. So look, I'm not going to go overboard because obviously not everyone, but a lot of people will ask to be mods. But yeah, Sudindra, you've been a long time viewer, and Suryansh, I made you mod. But yeah, we've already got quite a lot as well. But obviously, look, I'm open to having new mods as well, for sure. Subscribe from Egypt. Thank you, Kirilos. Thank you very much, mate. It's much appreciated. Hi, Dan. Thanks from Thailand. Thank you very much. And Thailand, probably should go there one day. Need to try out Thai food as well. I haven't tried too much, so yeah. Why is the game updating? It does it every time, Maxwell. It takes like an hour sometimes. Oh no, accidentally did a -48 instead of acting the free hit. Well, at least you're laughing about it, but that... -48. Oh my god, mate. I mean, look. YOLO. I mean, what can we say? Yeah, thank you, FPL Diamond as well. Enjoy the game week all showing off now. Thank you, FPL Focal. And yeah, I mean, let's see if Richarlison can do something. But yeah, it's going to be crazy. Went Son captain over Richarlison mainly because Everton creativity poor and their opponents are decent defensively, of course, dreading early kickoff. That's another thing that plays into a lot of people's thinking in terms of Son and Kane. That didn't influence my decision between Kane and Vardy. But yeah, I mean, look, we have to hope, you know, as Arsenal fans, you want to hope that Spurs do bottle it, but I still think they're going to win it. Yeah, I agree. Let's see, what else do we have? So, hopefully we're not too far off. Okay, we're good now. Captain Kane, KDB, Cancelo, Sarr, and goalkeeper Sara Sanchez. This week I would have gone for Sarr, but I just don't like Wolves at the moment. And in terms of captain, I would have gone for, out of those four, it would have probably been Kane. Thank you, Savros. Thank you very much, and it's good to see you on here. Do you think Maddison starts versus Watford? Yes, and that's why I've gone for him. But look, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we get news within, you know, the next hour or so that Vardy and Maddison aren't starting, and that would be a huge shame. How can you overall be 35k? Shouldn't it be around 50k? I'm pretty sure I updated my things, but yeah, I am 35k. Yeah. Let me double check this for you. I'm pretty sure I updated my ranks. Maybe no, I'm pretty sure after the Spurs Arsenal game I did update it, but yeah. LiveFPL.net is updating as well. Let me see. No, yeah, I've updated it. I'm 35k. Yeah, no, it's also updated. It's all the latest. I used FPL website to do that. Thank you, Amir, for the super chat once again. You didn't have to. Thank you very much. Me for mod if you get exactly 121 points. Wow, that's mate. If you get the exact amount of points I scored right, then mate, just go for the lottery or something. Go for something huge. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Why not? Why not? And obviously, like I said, I'll probably go back to these streams and add a few more mods as well. But yeah, definitely. I mean, that wouldn't be in question. Maybe even before that, you'll get it as well. Thoughts on Haaland's price next season? I think it'll be 12 million, and he might even be locked in potentially into my team. There is also De Bruyne to consider, although I think it's a lot of recency bias because of his recent form. But I think Haaland will be in a lot of people's team. He might be like 50% owned or 40%. It could be crazy. If he's like 10 million or 11, I think that's a bargain. And he's definitely not going to be 9. There's no way he's 9. I think he's going to be 12 million, around that price. Hi Dylan, why you went for KDB instead of Coutinho? I already had a triple up in Villa, and I decided to go for Luka Dean the Troll, just because I love being trolled by him. I don't know why. I've gone for Cash and Ings. And also because Coutinho has been very off it for a long time. Now, he's had some decent performances like against Norwich, but in terms of FPL returns, he's been very inconsistent, and I recognise he has the potential to go huge this week. But I would rather cover City just about with De Bruyne, the most informed player in the league alongside Son and possibly Trossard. So that's really why I've gone for it. That's a good overall points. It's decent. I'll be honest though, I've made some bad decisions, such as Salah captaincy last week. And also, variance has been a huge part of my season. You know, Game Week 28, I took a -4 instead of a -8, I think it was. And if I had taken the -8 option, I would have gotten like 30 more points, you know, just from a simple tweak or two. I mean, it's crazy how the season has gone. I'm screwed compared to free hitters, but hopefully things go the same as last time. Oh, yeah, look, and Marco, I'll be honest, you know, if you're asking me, I'd take Kane and Son blanking and Spurs losing and me flopping in, you know, the last 2 games of the season, rather than me doing very well and Spurs assets doing fantastic. So, yeah, let's just wait and see. I hope the same as you. But free hitters definitely have an advantage this week, but let's wait and see. I think the swings won't be as big as it was in Game Week 36. I went for Vardy and Maddison over Kane and Cornet. To be fair, I probably would have done the same thing. Vardy obviously is always risky, but I preferred him. Thank you, FPL Diamond, for another shout out. Obviously, much appreciated, mate. Thank you, Amir. And what's all this about Schmeichel? Apparently, there's a change in goal. This is according to... Let me try to get the name right, because I said Nick's last time. Yeah, Team News and Ticks. So, yeah, let's see if he's got anything else to say. Yeah, so that's the last thing he said, and that's kind of going a bit crazy at the moment. Let me check Sam Martin as well if he's got anything, but hasn't been the case all day, and with no information. Okay, so Sam Martin actually responded, to Team News and Tick. So he said he's already spoken to him about it. I haven't heard anything, but I doubt I would. His sources tend to be solid, so I'd expect him to be right on this. So neither of us know anything else. So there you go. Let's just wait and see if the sources are right there. But Sam Martin has got nothing so far. Let's see what else we have. What is mods? It's a moderator. So if you can see there, people with like the kind of spanner emoji there next to their name. It's people who can moderate the chat. So if someone's spamming, they can put them on timeout. And also, yeah, that's basically it. Just kind of helping me control the chat and keep it respectful and keep it obviously, because some people do spam and we want to get through as many questions and people as possible. And yeah, it's just a good way of handling things basically. So yeah, that's what a moderator is. But yeah, we've kind of gone for everything here. I got 55 for a -8. 55 for a -8. 155. Oh yeah, no, that's an incredible score. I was going to say 55. I was thinking that maybe there's a 1 in there. Yeah, that's a fantastic score. I did awful last week. I got 90. Yeah, 90. And look, it happens. You can't have everyone. And look, a lot of people got some huge scores. I saw someone with like 220, which is unbelievable. Even 225, I think 1 point off the all-time record. Yeah, a fantastic score, honestly. And 36 was probably like the biggest swing of the season, I'd say, alongside 28. 26 up there, but not as much, I think. 36 was probably my biggest rank drop because I pretty much doubled my rank almost. But yeah, we're just waiting for any lineups that we see, but I'm guessing it's going to be the expected here with Spurs, and Kulusevski, it seems, will be starting. One of my transfers was White to Tavares. Yeah, this is what I mean. And I think I remember talking to you about this, and look, I'm not saying I'm right or something, or I told you not to get him, because I didn't. I think he was an alright option, but I always had doubts about Tavares, about him maybe being taken off during a game. I didn't expect him not to start, but against Leeds it made sense, to put Tomiyasu on Rafinha's side. Otherwise, Tavares would have probably been blitzed and Leeds could have got a point there. And Tavares against Spurs, I mean, I definitely don't want that. Yodel and Moscow have the same team as you, but when Diaz over Madison and Mings over Dean. Fair enough, no, I like that, and it's very similar. And I mean, let's see what happens in those kind of two, you could argue 50-50 decisions. I like Diaz a lot this week. That Southampton fixture is very tempting, but yeah. No Kane, you must be scared. Not really, I just hope he blanks, really. No, I don't think so. I think he'll score, but I've got Vardy, and if he starts, I'll be quite comfortable with my decision. Do you own Kane for Gameweek 38? No. Let me actually show you, because I haven't done it all stream. There's so much things to cover. This is how my team looks like in 38, except I have Pukki instead of Nketiah. So that would be my transfer potentially, and also I could get De Bruyne in for Salah. So this would be for a -4 hit, and I would captain Son. I've already got Son and Kulusevski to kind of cover Spurs' attack there, and this team looks pretty decent, to end the season. It's not the best. I wouldn't say it's the best. I'm missing Kane potentially. Who else? Maybe a Reece James against Watford, but overall, it's a pretty decent team. I've got Cher on the bench as well, just in case. My forward line depth is very awful, but Nketiah for Pukki is a good transfer for free, and I could get De Bruyne in for Salah. Let me know what you think of this, but yes, I don't have Harry Kane. Yeah, I mean, look, Norwich, this is why Arsenal fans are kind of hoping Burnley do a business today, because I don't see any situation where Spurs drop points to Norwich. If they do, I'll probably have a Norwich badge throughout the summer or something. Maybe even get a kit or something like that. Not really. Obviously, look, once again, you can't own everyone. And look, I already got Son and Kulusevski. So yeah, honestly, I'm not too worried about it. I think he could damage my rank for sure, just like he did in Gameweek 36, but you can't cover everyone. That's kind of my thinking behind it. Good luck, Marco. Come on, you Clarets, yeah. It's in our hands, but not confident right now. To be fair, though, look, Arsenal have a great record against Newcastle and Everton, and they are a better team. It's just all the injuries and obviously the defeat, the impact of that psychologically could be huge. But Arsenal really should have won games like against Southampton and Brighton and Palace, especially Palace and Southampton. But there you go, so an inconsistent team. Kulusevski bench, says Groot Beast. Okay, that's pretty good news. Yeah, so it looks like Lucas will be starting then. Let me get that. So Sam O'Keefe, let me get that up. Let's see. Let me try and get this up. find his bloody name. He probably has like an apostrophe. Alright, so I went differential on a free hit. I mean, that's good. If you're looking to chase rank, this is your way of gaining rank. This is your best chance that you're going to have. Thai food is definitely my favourite cuisine. You should go try at least once a month. Generally, spice levels can be high if not specified when eating in Thailand, but quite mild, still flavourful in the West. Yeah. Look, I've tried it like in like food markets or like street markets that you have, like Camden, but yeah, look, it's definitely something I need to try out. And who doesn't love chicken, really? Poor chickens, but yeah. I think my favourite cuisine would be Italian. Italian, Indian, Mexican, kind of Latin food. I like Turkish and Greek as well. So yeah, I'm quite open-minded. I gained massive points a few seasons back when I captained Kane, also against Norwich or Leicester maybe. Should I go for him over Son for 38? The thing is, a lot has been made of home and away, and Son has been better at home. Kane has generally been better away. But recent form, Son has been on another level in terms of goal contributions. And also, bear in mind, Son is going for the golden boot, and Kane did say if he has a penalty, he'll probably give it to Son, and that doesn't surprise me at all. So, yeah, look, it's 50-50 still in that away fixture, but at home to Burnley, I would have rather gone for Son. But yeah, definitely, look, if he's done well for you in the past, you're always going to have that kind of feeling in your mind that he can do it for you again. Thank you, FPL Diamond. Thank you very much. And let me just double check the where we are in terms of targets. So, in terms of subscribers, we are, yes, I almost can't count. Yeah, we're 68 away. So thank you very much for all the subscribers today, and thank you for all the likes as well. We're on 185. So we've still got over 200 people watching. So honestly, you guys are legends. Thank you very much. Let's try to get to 200. We're literally 15 away, and it's much appreciated. And thank you to everyone who sent in the super chats and became members today. That like the Galactic Hobbit. Thank you very much. Nice squad. It's decent, but remember, this is for a -4 because I normally have Salah in for De Bruyne and Pukki in for Nketiah. I think Nketiah in for Pukki would be quite nailed on. Now, what I could do as well is maybe downgrade De Bruyne or Salah and get Kane up front. That is something else I could consider. So let me try play around with this. So Kane in, and then how much money do we have in the bank? We've got, yeah, -5 million, and then we've got 7 million. So even someone like Maddison at home to Southampton, not too bad. Bit risky as well. I mean, there you go. And then I've covered Kane. But then again, I don't have De Bruyne. There's always someone you're going to miss out. And Salah against Wolves is still a great option should he be fit, which he probably will be. So this is something I need to weigh up in my mind. Do I go for Kane and maybe go for a cheap midfielder like Maddison? Who knows? Or do I just go for Nketiah and De Bruyne? That would be quite an interesting one. Honestly, that Spurs game would not have been half as bad if Gabriel didn't get injured. He's better, be okay. Yeah, look, exactly. I think it's the accumulation of things. Holding being suspended, Gabriel getting injured, losing 3-0 in the derby, the way it was lost. And look, Spurs deserved the win. It's just that game changed completely from that decision. I'll be honest, I was frustrated, I was pissed off, I was shouting at the referee, and I'm tired of these kind of officiating. But, Arsenal still just have to put this forward, put this in history, look forward. They can still win these 2 games, A lot is made of Newcastle away, and yes, they've only lost 1 game at home in this calendar year. But Arsenal have a fantastic record there, and they've actually secured top 4 in the past with a Koscielny late goal against Newcastle. They can definitely do it again. The same goes for Everton. But Arsenal are quite weak mentally, I think. Maybe that's a bit harsh. What I mean by that is, if Arsenal go a goal down, it's really hard for them to get back into the game. They've only made 1 comeback this season when they've been trailing, and that was against Wolves. That's why that win was so huge, and a lot of people thought they would get top 4 from that point onwards, but it's not done. And it's going to go down to the wire. When's the next live stream, Dylan? It's interesting because today we've been going on for like 2 hours, to be fair. Yeah, 2 hours. If my voice is okay and if things are calm later, we could do a stream tonight reacting to Gameweek 37 and looking ahead to 38, which is what we always do. If not, it will be tomorrow. In terms of content over the summer, there's probably going to be F1 fantasy content. When FPL goes live again, we'll probably do content for that as well, talking about different drafts, players to consider, differentials. We're going to do kind of different content that we haven't done before on this channel. Also the UCL fantasy content. So when FPL is over, we've still got match day 13 in UCL fantasy. So there's like kind of 7-day break, between match day 38 of FPL with the final of UCL fantasy. Kulusevski benched. There we go. As people said before, it was going to be either Kulusevski starts being benched or misses out entirely, and he was with the squad, and there we go. He's on the bench there. Lucas, a lot of Spurs fans are saying he's pretty pretty lackluster. Yeah, and now FPL Diamond, we are 7 away from 200 likes, so it'd be very much appreciated if you keep smashing the like button. I can't lie, I don't even know what the penalty was for. It was for Cedric apparently going into Heung-min Son, so it's kind of like a little nudge. The thing is, or like leaning towards him. Like, I'll be honest, look, be sure to like let us know your opinions. Obviously, some of you may feel it's a penalty, and the football is all about opinions. The way I see it, though, the day after in the Championship, there was a situation which was much worse. It was more of a penalty. They didn't give it. In the FA Cup as well, I think there was a situation where Konate barged someone. No penalty as well. I think those were worse. I just think it's a soft penalty. It's one of the softest this season. And it gave Spurs the perfect position because before that, Arsenal were, I'd say, the better team slightly. They were putting Spurs under pressure. They were struggling to build up from the back. And they were making mistakes. They were rattled. And I think that goal just calmed them down and it put them in the position where Arsenal needed to attack to get that draw and kind of secure top 4 pretty much. And that was just a perfect game plan for Spurs. And then, obviously, Gabriel gets injured and then Holding is sent off as well. I hit a minus 16. My mini league is pretty much done with a 100-point difference between me and first place. Yeah, no, fair enough. And I've actually experienced this in the past. When you're very close in the mini league, you let that affect your decision making. I think it's better when you don't think about the mini leagues and you just think about what is best for your FPL team. Weghorst and Kulusevski benched. Wow. Let's go through the lineups now. So we haven't done that. Obviously now we might as well. We're 3 likes away from 200. Be sure to do so. I'm going to go on live score and get that up for you on screen. So bear with a second and we should be good to go. Let's get this lineup out here. Alright, so as you just saw there, that was my game week 38 team basically, potentially with a -4. But here is the possible lineup. No, give me the lineup, mate. Give me the lineup. I have to use SofaScore or maybe use Twitter. Yeah, no, I think they had Lucas anyway there. But let me just go on Twitter. Jesus. Alright, we're quite slow today. Okay, we're going on Spurs' website. Yuck. Alright. Alright, so here we go. Here's the lineup. Yeah. Lloris in goal. Emerson Real, Sanchez, Dyer, Davis, Sessegnon, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Lucas, Son and Kane. And on the bench they've got Golini, Austin, Rodon, White, Winks, Craig, Kulusevski, Bergwijn and Scarlett. So I don't know about the treatment about Bergwijn. You know, he scored a crucial goal against Leicester. He looks decent when he comes on sometimes. I think he probably should start over Lucas, although Bergwijn, you could argue, is better on the left, but that's quite surprising, actually. You know, the kind of lack of minutes for Bergwijn. It's a bit similar to Pepe at Arsenal. I think they're it's a good comparison to make. But yeah, that's the Tottenham lineup. Let's try to get the Burnley lineup as well. So, as you guys said, Weghorst is benched. I got rid of him in game week 36, actually. Well, I think maybe 35. So yeah, let's check the Burnley lineup. Come on, Burnley. Oh my God. This is probably the biggest support they're going to get all season. You know, Arsenal are right behind them. So here is the Burnley lineup as well. So here we go. Pope, Roberts, Lowton, Collins, Long, Taylor, McNeil, Brownhill, Cork, Barnes and Cornet. So as you can see, they're kind of matching Spurs there with a kind of back 5. So let me know what you guys think of these lineups, and should be very interesting to see how this pans out. EPL refs are seriously the worst. The thing is, look, I've seen corrupt games, like literally corrupt games in Copa America, Copa Libertadores, Copa Argentina, you know, a lot of different competitions. Corruption exists in a lot of countries, unfortunately. And look, I'm not even going to delve into this. Is the Premier League corrupt? I don't know. Okay, I'm not gonna go into it. I've got my own views, and I don't want to really talk about that. I don't want to blame refs as well for Arsenal losses, but I seriously think they have a huge impact on certain games. You know, the inconsistency as well, giving penalties to certain teams, and then for similar situations, not for others. Giving red cards, you know, being very happy with their cards, you know, trigger happy, giving second yellows, red cards, you know, to certain teams easily. And then certain players, I mean, just look at Casemiro in Champions League. How does he never get booked, for example? But Premier League refs, yeah, they're up there. And Paul Tierney is supposed to be one of the newer ones. And how was he rewarded after North London Derby? He's on VAR in the FA Cup final. Also remember Stuart Atwell after That City-Arsenal game, which a lot of people can agree, that was even worse than the Tottenham-Arsenal game in terms of officiating. He was rewarded with the Carabao Cup final. There's no repercussions for bad refereeing performances. That's the way I see it. I agree, Holding gave the match when Spurs were not that good. Look, I think that the penalty was the decisive moment, in my opinion. In terms of like confirming the result, it was the Holding red card. I blame Holding for that. I think Arsenal have a problem in terms of discipline, in terms of not being smart enough. And in my opinion, look, you can disagree. We can respectfully have a good conversation here. You know, I'm not going to get mental at someone who disagrees with me, but I think referees are trigger happy with Arsenal. Now, I'm not saying Holding didn't deserve the red card, but with that in mind, Holding should be smarter and say, well, why not? You know, be smarter, you know, be composed. I'm already on a yellow. Don't do something stupid. Don't give the referee an excuse. I think his kind of thinking was, you know, Son, you know, got one in on me with the elbow. I'm going to get in, you know, one in on him as well now and be the tougher man. Don't do that. Just be smart, stay on the pitch and give Arsenal a chance of winning the game and drawing. And I think, honestly, look, those two moments shaped the game pretty much and Spurs were comfortable after that. And I think Arsenal had all the cards. And if it wasn't for the penalty, I'm not saying Arsenal wouldn't have won, but it would have been much closer. And I think a draw was definitely possible, for sure. I don't know what the pen was for, just for the pen pointed to his hand, so basically gave it right. Yeah, the commentators actually thought it was for a handball. But then when you see it, I'm just like, what? And people would argue from certain angles it was a penalty. For me, it's not a penalty. If that's a penalty for me, there's going to be a penalty in every single Premier League match, basically. That's the way I see it. 0-0 Brexit defending, hopefully, although one early lucky goal for them lot and I'll crumble. Yeah, or even a penalty, that's soft. You never know. Things can change very quickly from, one moment. Yeah, Kulusevski doesn't start. Not too much of a surprise based on the illness rumours that we got yesterday. But yeah, there we go. 100% on the refs. Look, Arsenal also have to take responsibility, and I also think Arteta made a mistake with Tomiyasu. And I said this before, that I would have played him on Son's side. Even though it worked against Leeds, Rafinha is Leeds' danger man and he's on the right. Son is on the left. So I would have put Tomiyasu on Son. He pocketed him last time in the 3-1 victory for Arsenal in the North London derby. I would have done that. So that was a mistake by Arteta. But in terms of the setup, Arsenal actually looking decent in the opening period of the game. And I agree with not playing Ben White because he just came back. He didn't really train. Why risk him? And also when Holding got sent off, good decision not to bring on Ben White. Because now, I mean, imagine if Ben White came on, he got injured, then Arsenal have basically 0 centre-backs available. That would have been a disaster. So, yeah. Look, I think the referee had a big part to play in the game. That's why I was pissed off. But honestly, look, Arsenal also have to look at themselves as well. It's kind of a mixture of both things. It's more incompetence than corruption. The thing is, I'm quite cynical, I'll be honest. I don't want to say my opinion because, look, a lot of people will disagree for one, and also because I just don't really want to go there. I want to be more positive and not really think it's about corruption, but I'm quite cynical with these things, I'll be honest. I've seen corruption before, and there's a lot of similarities in there. But yes, they're definitely incompetent. There's no doubt about it. The same referee from the North London derby also didn't send off Harry Kane, but he sent off Robertson, didn't give the penalty to Jota. Liverpool fans don't complain really too much because, look, they're such a great team. These kind of big moments don't affect them as much as it would for a team like Arsenal that, these decisions will influence them majorly, especially when Arsenal go 1-0 down in a North London derby with so much at stake. It's very hard for them to get back into the game, especially with 10 men. But obviously, it's a mixture of the referee and Arsenal needing to be a bit smarter, I think. Good luck to you as well, Sudindra. Thank you very much. Yeah, Tomiyasu should have been on Son. Son scored the first North London derby, but wasn't Tomiyasu's fault. Yeah, no, I agree. And Son had a quiet game. That was pretty much all he did in that game. And yes, he scored, but he was still very quiet. Tomiyasu dealt with him very well. Yeah, Cedric is a liability. Even with the penalty excluded, I don't think it was his fault necessarily. He is a liability. He's not good enough. I've said this before. Yes, he played all right against Leeds, but against the likes of Spurs, teams of top quality attacking talent, you can't rely on Cedric. Thank you, Ashwin, for tuning in. I'm doing well. What about you? Do you think Arteta's a top manager? He managed to have such a good season for Arsenal this season, challenging for top 4, but many delusional fans still think he's out of his depth. I'm not thinking of my answer about that. I'll literally just have a quick water break and then I'm going to answer this. I'm going to go back to my team as well. So 1 second. All right, we are back. We're going to answer a few more questions and then we're going to be wrapping up. So this is my team that you can see right now. So this is the locked-in team for Game Week 37. So I don't think Arteta's a top manager. I think he has the potential to become a top manager. Now, I'll be honest, I have doubted him a lot, especially when we lost 3 games in a row to Palace, Brighton and Southampton, because that, just one result in those 3 games and Arsenal are pretty much in the top 4 now. Obviously, he bounced back in a major way, getting those 4 wins. I didn't expect him to beat West Ham, United and Chelsea. I thought they would have lost to Chelsea. And if that was the case, Arsenal would be done. You can't win every game. Arsenal have a young team. They're very inconsistent. Arteta has done a great job. I honestly think he should be nominated for Manager of the Season. He's won the Manager of the Month award twice. He's done a great job. But there's also some questionable things he's done, such as trimming the squad so much in January. And that could come back to bite Arsenal, and it already has to a certain extent, Imagine Chambers or Maitland-Niles covering for Tomiyasu instead of Cedric and Tavares. I think those kind of examples are where I think he should have done better. Obviously, having a thinner squad has enabled him to boost the morale. Before, when he first came in, Arsenal had like 28, 29 players in their squad. It was a very big squad. It was condensed and it wasn't really that good. A lot of average players in there like Socrates, Kolasinac, all these players. I think he's done a great job. He's not a top manager, but I think he can become one. And I think he's one of the better managers in the Premier League. I don't know if he's top 5, but he is up there, I think, yeah. It's a soft penalty, but to my mind it is mostly because Cedric clearly looked at Son, knowing he could get to the ball and Son had a clear chance. Fair enough. I think that's a good argument there, and I can understand that point of view. It's just the way I see it is there were examples in the games afterwards, like for example in the Championship, those are really big examples, it's identical, and that was in my opinion even worse. In terms of contact with the other player made, a push which was more kind of blatant, let's say, and also even in the FA Cup final. And I just think, come on, like if that's a penalty, I think you have to then give that consistently. And also, in the FA Cup final, Paul Tierney's on VAR and he doesn't pick up on that decision, for example. And then you look at the example of Emerson Royal pushing Jota. I know this is a long time ago, but this season, same referee. Why does he then not make the same decision? Why does he do it one time and not the other? Maybe it's because of what you said, maybe the kind of contact and, he perceives it as Cedric knowing what he's doing. I honestly just don't think it's a penalty though, and I just don't really see it. Real corruption's about players, not refs. Yeah, I mean, the thing is though, there are refs that are corrupt worldwide, and there are examples, even competitions like World Cups and Euros can be fixed, and that's just kind of something that's been said even by senior people like Platini, I think it was. But yeah, look, I think it's kind of a mixture. In the Premier League, I'm not too sure, but the referees, look, they're either really, really incompetent or they're corrupt. I mean, it's one of the two. You kind of pick your kind of the way you see it. I think most people, if I put a poll out, it would be incompetent. Mind if I ask your age, mate? Thank you very much, Joseph. Much appreciated. I'm 23. Recently turned 23, although time has gone very quickly, I'll say. Yeah. Just asking your prediction on Haaland's starting price. Yeah. I think 12 million. So yeah, between that price, 11.5, 12.5, I think he'll be 12. 12.5 is a good shout. I think it's more likely he's going to be 12.5 than 11.5. If he's 11.5, he's just going to be highly owned. It's going to be very easy to get him into our teams. And I think some people will be put off Salah. That is, especially with Liverpool having such a big big forward line now. They've got so much depth now. So, yeah, I think Haaland will be 12 million. If I had to put a guess, as Andre Allen says, he'll be 12 million. And the reason why I just said about Salah is because they've got Diaz, they've got Jota, they've got Mane, they've got Origi's going to be leaving anyway, but they've got so much depth in the forward line now, and I think they can afford to bench Salah from time to time. So maybe Haaland is going to be the template pick. Let me know what you guys think of that. We'll talk more about this in the summer, and we'll know more information. We'll know the prices, and we can make more informed decisions. But if Haaland is 11.5 million, I think he's going to be in pretty much every single team. Yep, Premers are super inconsistent. Yep, I completely agree. Yep. Do you teach Spanish, Dylan? No, I don't teach Spanish. I don't. I speak it. My English is way better. But I don't teach it. I don't play Fantasy 5, David. I played it before. I just never win it, really. I've got a few. I think my first week I got 2 spot on, pretty much. And I think it included Sace against Brighton, and he scored in that game. But yeah. Who are the top 5 managers in the Prem, in your opinion, then? Well, in my opinion, look, a lot of people will disagree, but I think Guardiola is the best manager. Klopp is definitely, those two are the undisputed top 2. No one can debate that, and you could put either one of them top. I would personally put Pep Guardiola for his career. I'd put him first. Then I put Klopp second. Third, I think it's between Conte and Tuchel. The thing is with Conte, he reminds me a lot of Mourinho. He's not a good long-term manager. And I don't see him being at Spurs for a long time. He's very good for guaranteed success in the immediate short term. But you would argue, looking at his CV, looking at what he's done, even with Italy where he didn't win anything, he is in the top 4 managers in the league. So I think those are the top 4. I'm not sure about who's 3rd or 4th. You could argue it's Tuchel or Conte. Then in 5th place, I think the kind of shortlist for 5th place is, Graham Potter, Mikel Arteta. I'm probably forgetting someone, by the way. I wouldn't put Brendan Rodgers there, just to make that clear. I wouldn't put Gerrard. I wouldn't put Lampard. Jesse Marsh has done a good job. I wouldn't put him there. Mike Jackson has done a very good job at Burnley, but I wouldn't put him there. If he does win today, though, maybe I'll change my mind. I'm trying to think. Is there someone I'm forgetting? Bruno Laga's done a good job, but I wouldn't put him in there as well. David Moyes, maybe? So Moyes, Arteta and Graham Potter, kind of my shortlist for top 5 at the moment. Probably forgetting someone, aren't I? Moyes, yeah. I think that's a good one. I'm not sure. Am I forgetting someone? I don't know why. I have like a sneaky feeling I'm forgetting someone, and I might do. And if I do, I apologise. Yeah. Moyes. I mentioned Moyes. It's between him, Arteta, and Graham Potter. But basically, there's a debate to be had that Moyes and Graham Potter are better than Arteta, and Moyes has been very good. With Everton and West Ham. Yeah, Tuchel. No, he's already in my top 4. Tuchel's definitely in it. The thing, look, I'll be honest. I kind of took the piss out of Potter. Eddie Howe's decent. I wouldn't put him 5th though. Well, yeah, Bielsa's not in the league anymore, but I wouldn't have put him in my top 5. And I'm Argentinian. I wouldn't put him in there. Yeah, I think I'd put Potter maybe 5th. Brighton, they play such good football. If they had a clinical finisher or even just a good, consistent goal scorer, they would be, I'd say, top 6, top 8. I honestly think overall, as a team, you would argue they're better than United, they're better than Leicester, arguably even better than Spurs. Like, these are kind of potential arguments. Without Son and Kane, I think Brighton are a better team for sure. Hassan Hutel, he's decent. That's a good shout. I don't think I'd put him in there, though. And he's always capable of these kind of huge losses. But he is a good manager, yes. I think that's a good shout. Moyes took West Ham from fighting relegation to competing in Europe in 2 years. That's why I'd probably put Moyes and Potter, potentially Potter, just above Arteta. So I'd say Arteta's like top 10 managers for sure in the league. And look, he's only 40 or 39 years old. I think he has so much potential, and there's a lot I like about him, but I wouldn't put him top 5, I think, just yet. I think he needs to prove more in the Premier League because he's got... First year, fair enough. He finished 8th, but it was kind of a continuation of what happened under Emery. Second season, obviously his first full season, finished 8th. It was a pretty abysmal season. Now he's getting Arsenal into the top 4 when, United have a better squad. Spurs as well arguably have a better squad. So, yeah, I think Arteta is up there, but I wouldn't put him top 5 just yet. Eddie for Brighton, although I wouldn't mind him extending. Well, Eddie Howe for Brighton. Is that what you're saying? So Graham Potter maybe goes to Spurs if Conte leaves or something like that, which, to be honest, I think Potter's a great fit for them. And then, the thing is, though, I think Eddie Howe will stay at Newcastle. I'm guessing you said something else, by the way. Weghorst benched. Anyone see that coming? I'll be honest, Daniel, I didn't expect them to be benched today, but it does make sense when you look at what they're probably trying to do. And they need to get a result, a draw, a win. And they're legends if they do that, to be fair. Yeah, Arteta did win 2 trophies. Obviously, the Community Shield is a major honour, not a trophy. Eddie and Nketiah, yeah. Now that makes more sense. But yeah, back to the "this isn't me" thing. Yeah, look, he did win 2 trophies. I mean, that's pretty impressive. To beat City in a semi-final, although they weren't that good that season, and to beat Chelsea in a final, that's really good. And he has shown that he has the capabilities of being a really good manager. But I think I'd still maybe put him in the Premier League. As a Premier League manager, I wouldn't put him top 5 just yet. If he gets 4th with Arsenal, that's a great achievement in my opinion. I mean, look, it's a major honour. And look, I'm not trying to stir beef or whatever, but without Community Shields, Liverpool have more major trophies than United, for example. So, like, Community Shields is an honour. It's not a trophy, but it is an honour. Yeah, Nketiah, yeah. I was going to say, Eddie Howe at Brighton does make sense, but yeah, I was like, what? Nketiah, no, I think that'd be pretty good. He's a kind of, I wouldn't say clinical finisher, but he's a decent finisher. I think he would do pretty well there, and he's definitely much better than Maupay, surely, and Welbeck. No, I'm an Arsenal fan. I don't support Liverpool or United. Is Katzuma a good FPL team name for the rest of the season? Why not? I think that's a good name, yeah. Katzuma. Yeah. Would you have done Kane and Cornet or Vardy and Maddison as transfers, not free hit? As transfers, I mean, Kane is better for 37 and 38, but as a duo, Vardy and Maddison, I would have rather done that. But obviously, Kane in isolation is better than Vardy for 37 and 38 combined. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've locked in. We talked about the statistical comparison between De Bruyne and Mane. We talked about the best replacement for Salah. Who do we go for, Maddison or Zaha? Very popular question today. The captaincy, I ended up going for Richarlison. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of him. But hopefully this free hit team does wonders. So we apparently the game has updated, so we can refresh this page now. Oh no, okay, so I got sold lies. Okay, so I think someone just wanted to see me just have that screen again. So I think someone sold me lies there. It always takes a long time to kind of load the game again. But thank you very much to everyone for tuning in today. And if you haven't already, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. And thank you very much to everyone who's done so already. Thank you FPL Focal for the raid. It's much appreciated. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram, DylanRCM. And you can also join the Discord server. The link is in the description below, as well as the FPL League, which was on screen all the time. We still have just under 200 viewers. That is absolutely crazy. So thank you very much to everyone for staying put for such a long time. And it's genuinely much appreciated. All the best of luck for Gameweek 37. Enjoy the football as always. I'm going to go through the last few questions very quickly, and then we're going to be wrapping up. EPL top 5 overall, I'd agree. Klopp, Pep, Tuchel, Conte, Moyes. Eddie on this season alone is up there. No team has survived relegation after no win in the first 14 games. Yeah, one of the best informed teams in 2022. No, I think Eddie Howe's a shout, especially this season. But I still think, in terms of the manager of the year on nominations, I would have put Arteta there. Maybe not for Eddie Howe, but I would have put him in for someone else. And yes, I agree with your top 5. I think that, except maybe Eddie Howe. So you got Pep, Tuchel, Conte, Moyes. I agree with your top 5. I would still maybe put Arteta above Eddie, although maybe that will change after tomorrow. Thank you, FPL Diamond, for moderating the chat. Is Schmeichel on the bench? Apparently so. We haven't seen any confirmation just yet, but yeah, let me try see if I can get it. Yeah, I don't think there's any confirmation right now yet. Unfortunately, Sam Martin didn't have anything, but there you go. I mean, it's not really the most surprising thing. Yeah, let's just wait and see. But apparently, according to Team News and Ticks, Schmeichel won't be starting. Swap Pickford for Schmeichel. What? Oh, I'm guessing you got Pickford for Schmeichel. Yeah, fair enough. That's good. Have you seen the new Netflix show? No, I haven't seen that. I'm watching Ozark at the moment. No spoilers, please. I just watched episode 9, so the second episode of the second half of the season. I'm also watching Sopranos, but I'm obviously taking a break on that to watch Ozark and then go back to it. There's a lot of good shows though. I need to watch Better Call Saul. I watched like the first season and a bit. Haven't really been able to finish that as well. If Burnley can keep it 0-0 or 1-0 until the 60th, then I'll have hope. Yeah, exactly. It all depends on the start, and the longer the game goes on, the more nervy they'll be. Cheers, Marco, for tuning in as always. Thank you very much. If you count the Community Shield as a trophy, well, Dennis, like I clearly said, I don't think it's a trophy. It's a major honour. And like I said already, for example, United fans say they're the most successful club in British football. If you take away Community Shields, Liverpool have more trophies than United. So take of that what you will. So yeah, still in favour of Mikel's manager era as more positive than negative. I trust the process. He's definitely not perfect, but part of the learning curve. But for someone who's so blunt and straight up, still not fixed the red card issue. I do think it's also to do with the referees. I think they're very trigger happy with Arsenal as well, but the players should be smarter as a result of that. But yes, he's definitely been more positive than negative, especially this season and winning the FA Cup and the Community Shield. But look, he has to get a top 4. If he doesn't get 4th, you know, I think it'll be more easy for Arsenal fans to turn on him next season should things start off pretty poorly. Youngest squad in this league and challenging for top 4 is an amazing achievement. I agree, it is, but he needs to get it now, especially that it's against Spurs and the fact that Arsenal had a 4-point gap heading into that Spurs game, although I think they were very unlucky the other day. Ozark is awesome, watching the new season right now. Yeah, I wouldn't put it in my top 5 shows, although it definitely has a debate and it could be in there. But it's one of the better shows, yeah, for sure. Vikings is free on Amazon Prime. Yeah, I do have Amazon Prime. I might take a look at that, but I've got so many shows and films to watch still that I'm not sure. Better Call Saul is the best show of all time. Wow, better than Breaking Bad. Better than The Wire and Sopranos. Wow. I mean, if it's that good, then yeah. I heard it's literally like one of the best shows, and it could be top 5. But I haven't seen all of it, so I can't judge. From what I saw, it was very good, but it wouldn't have been in my top 5. But let's wait and see. I'm gonna take a look at that for sure. I'm also gonna watch The Boys when it comes out in June. That's probably the best Amazon Prime show in my opinion that I've seen. Also, Kenobi. Hopefully that's good. Although I haven't heard great things so far. Yep. Thank you, Sing. There will be a reaction stream either today or tomorrow. I'll let you guys know. And yeah, the next deadline stream should be a big one, the last one of the season. We United fans don't count community shields, and yes, Liverpool have overtaken us by 3 trophies now. Like I said, I want to make this very clear. It's not a trophy, but it's a major honour, you know, and you'd rather win it than not. That's the way I see it. It's the least relevant trophy, and I always say Carabao Cup is, but obviously community shield's just below that. So yeah, I believe it's better than Breaking Bad. Fair enough, mate. That's quite high praise. Sorry, just during the stream, who's the best Salah replacement? Already have Son and KDB. In that case, I would have probably gone for a double Gameweek player like Zaha or Maddison, or I would have gone for a like-for-like switch in Diaz or Mane. Just bear in mind, there is maybe a possibility Mane is benched, especially if his recovery isn't that great. So thank you very much for all the questions and comments. Thank you for tuning in, and all the likes, all the super chats, and all the new channel members. Thank you very much to everyone. Enjoy the football. All the best of luck for Double Gameweek 37 and the rest of the season, and I'll see you next time.